Welcome to Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup. I'm your host, Jason Bland, and we are back tonight with a returning guest. I had a lot of requests for this guest to return. Dr. Kimberly McGeorge. She's a naturopathic doctor, energy healer, remote viewer, paranormal expert, consciousness expert. We get into so many different topics. Recently, I've had a lot of people comment on my show feed in YouTube that I should title my shows with the subject. And I agree. They're right. I should be doing that. Problem is, guests like her, like Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, the subject, I don't know what the subject is tonight, because literally we get into everything. The subject is everything in the weird and the paranormal, because that's what it'll be tonight. And one of the reasons we brought her back on, I haven't got to talk to her before show or anything, but we'll see, is maybe she'll do some more phone calls tonight, because I remember we didn't have a lot of time last time she was on to do, because she can do readings and remote views. Maybe we can take some phone calls tonight, give it a little bit more time for that as well later in the show. And of course, lots of weird to get to in the World Wide Web of weird as well. So we got a lot to do. Let's go ahead and get rolling on into it. Welcome to another night of Paranormal Soup. As I said before, I'm your host, Jason Bland. Tonight's guest, Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, will join us after the World Wide Web of Weird, after our first commercial break. But joining me, as always, is my beautiful co-host, Jamie D. How you doing tonight, Jamie?
Doing well, thank you. How about yourself?
Doing well. I mean, I can complain. I've still got sinus drainage from hell. You'll hear how I sound congested tonight and like crap. I apologize. And, just paid off the wife's car. I gotta complain. You know the pay off the car curse? Man, it hit this week. Paid off the car. Axelrod goes out. $460. As soon as I get it from the shop, I think an alternator or charging system went out. Whole car died. Anyway, I had to get a $120 tow. I'm waiting for the bill. So that curse is real. You pay off your car, it just falls apart immediately. I totally experienced that. That's my first car I've ever paid off. And experienced it right away. So I testified to that curse being real. But we got a lot of weird to get to, so let's go ahead and roll into the World Wide Web of Weird. Tonight on the World Wide Web of Weird, I have to start off with this story. I'm not going to save it to the end because everybody's probably... I've had so many people, and thank you, everybody. Paranormal Soup, jbland@gmail.com is the email. You can email me story ideas or your personal stories. I love hearing anything weird and paranormal. But everybody's been sending me this about, have you seen the Ukrainian soldiers capture footage of a disc-shaped UFO over the war zone? Yes, I've seen it. I've seen it right away. But thank you. Keep showing me. I don't care. Tell me. And thank you to everybody who sent me this one. We're going to cover that first. For those listening on the Paranormal Soup radio network, we are a webcast streaming out to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I will try to narrate as best as possible if you just want to listen. And here to do the video footage, hopefully, and he's got it up, is Rob Autry himself from St. Augustine, Florida. Thank you, Rob. I know you rushed to get here. Thank you.
Forgot what time it was.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know if you had to pick up your wife or not, so I was like, you might not make it. All right, so before we play the video here, so this is the footage. We'll have the footage here in a second. For those listening on the radio, you can go look this up. I got this from Unexplained Mysteries. It's certainly not surprising to see aircraft in the skies over the Ukraine these days, but this particular video, which has been doing the rounds on social media this week, shows no ordinary aircraft. The footage was filmed by soldiers from the 406th Battalion, the Ukrainian Armed Forces, through the thermal camera of a DJI brand Mavic 3T quadcopter reconnaissance drone. Paid by your tax dollars, by the way. In the background, the man can be heard discussing the object. I'm telling you, it's a UFO. It's standing still, one of them says. Of course, they all speak Ukrainian. Zoom in more. It's standing still. Do you see? Can't maybe ram it. Ram it? Oh, with the drone? Yeah, do it. As things stand, it remains unclear exactly where the footage was captured or what the object could be. Some online sleuths have suggested that it could have been a Fata Morgana, the type of optical illusion that causes objects on the ground or ocean appear to be floating in the sky. Go ahead and roll that UFO beam footage. It'll be audio, I think, with it. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, there's audio. There it is.
Охренеть, ни хрена. Что это за херня?
I'll do a zoom in on it here in a second. It's hard to see in the screen. But you're going to see it like a disc-shaped thing. And yeah, is that a body of water out there? And that's like the Fata Morgana thing, kind of looks like it's floating in the sky. It's really a ship out on the ocean.
I didn't think of that. We did this on Wednesday. I don't remember.
It's possible. It's possible, but I think these guys would recognize something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know. If it's a UFO, I mean, listen, we're talking about Putin's already already warned that he could bring in tactical nukes. When you start bringing nukes into this equation, and the NATO's talking about, bringing in their soldiers, and all this goes down, UFOs are always spotted. Every war. Before, even before nukes, really, World War II. But nukes especially involved, they're interested. It's like, what are those dumb humans doing down there? Oh, killing themselves. Well, per the usual.
Exactly.
But while they're spotting UFO... Go ahead. What are you going to say?
Another fail.
Yeah. Well, while they're spotting UFOs in Ukraine, a new exhaustive study finds Western United States an ideal location for spotting UFOs. I got the shorter article here. I got the article from here from Coast to Coast. Rather exhaustive new study of UFO reports found that one is most likely to spot anomalous aerial phenomenon if they're in western part of the United States. Detailing their work in a press release, geographers from the University of Utah explained that the project was based on insights from nearly 100,000 cases submitted to the National UFO Recording Center between the years of 2000 to 2020. With the two decades worth of data, the researchers then looked at environmental factors and explained why locations might have particularly high or low numbers of UFO sighting. Specifically, the study examined what the researchers call sky view potential, which takes into account light pollution as well as cloud and tree cover. Additionally, they considered the proximity to airports and military installations, since this might account for what are perceived to be unusual objects in the sky. And breaking down the number of sightings per 10,000 people per county, the project determined that the western United States is the best area of the UFO spotting, in large part to do its wide open spaces and dark skies. The researchers also observed that the region's robust outdoor community provides a plethora of potential witnesses. Similar conditions in northern New England led to that region also being dubbed something of a UFO hotspot. You can see it on the map here. I know, it's all totally out to the west coast. But, like Hudson Valley, east coast is very popping with UFOs and stuff. But that's just one little area. But look at the whole west coast area out there. I mean, especially Nevada, I'm sure. all that open sky and open desert and things like that, people see it. And all those military bases where they're flying all that stuff.
Yeah, that probably helps a bit.
Maybe a little bit. Oh, I need a drink here. Well, I wonder with this next one, if this guy's ever seen any UFOs, if he's even paid attention. This has been circulating online. But just to talk about the power of the mind and the body, what somebody can do. The footage has sparked some intense debate online over its authenticity. It appears to be a real deal. A video emerged recently of an India yogi meditating in a blizzard, and social media users were quick to dismiss the entire thing as an AI-generated hoax. We'll get into AI here in a minute. According to the reports, however, the footage is actually genuine. Filmed earlier this month in Suraj Valley region of India's Kulula district, the clip shows Satyendra Nath, a yogi who has been associated with the Lunatic Peace spiritual organization for several years. On this particular occasion, two of his disciples who had gone out to find him due to his extreme weather had found him sitting there motionless in the snow built up on top of him. Go ahead and play the video. Watch this. Look how red his skin is. And he had to been sitting there a while to get that kind of build-up on him.
I thought that was a shirt for a moment.
Nope, that's him. Now that is some crazy crap, man. The sound out there like that. Yeah. And I guess he's been doing it for years. This is not new for him. That's why, like, okay, mute that. Well, it's so loud.
I can believe it.
And it's like his followers, like, we better go check on him. It seems pretty bad out there, and there he is. Sure, he's not dead. Did they poke him?
Like Jack Nicholson at the end.
Yeah, it's like Jack Nicholson at the end of Shining. You know, I mean, yeah, he's just meditating, little Danny Torrance.
Yeah.
He's just meditating. Oh no. All right, let's move on.
It sounds crazy, but it could happen. It could be real.
Well, Bigfoot can do it too, right? He can stay out in the snow and stuff. We got these pictures here from New York State. A woman in New York State suspects that a Sasquatch may have been on her property after something in the woods frightened her dog. And then some sizable prints were subsequently discovered in the snow. The intriguing incident, which was shared on Bigfoot Research Hudson Valley, here's a big UFO area, Facebook page, occurred earlier this month in the community of Carmel when the witness went to take her German Shepherd for a walk. Their normal routine nightly stroll took a strange turn when the pet pooch suddenly froze and tucked its tail between its legs and started whining, indicating it wanted to go back inside their house. The dog's peculiar behavior was made all the more unsettling by the sound of branches breaking the nearby forest, which unnerved the woman enough to cut the walk short that night. Curious as to what might have caused that weird episode, the witness returned to the area the next day and was shocked to see large human-like tracks going through the backyard. Fortunately, the woman managed to snap some pictures of the prints, which can be seen, on the Coast to Coast AM here, where I'm getting the article. Response to her story has been largely mixed, with some suggesting that she might nearly missed an encounter with Sasquatch, while more skeptical observers argued that tracks were probably created by a bear. Well, the dog's instant reaction. I mean, I don't know her dog. Dogs have different personalities, but he's a German Shepherd. They're very protective of their owners. For it to tuck its tail and say, "We need to go," and not growl or bark or try to defend. I don't know. Bear. It could be bear. But Sasquatch seems to have this effect on dogs. Like, dogs immediately know, I don't want no part of this.
Yeah.
A bear it might bark at. I've seen dogs defend their owners over bears, But when it tucks its tail, it's like it's almost supernatural. Like the dog's telling you, don't go this way. Let's go.
Yeah. Don't mess with it, man.
Well, AI, we're going to be talking about that here in a couple of different articles. And this first one, it's got its own ideas about how to capture Bigfoot. AI doing its part for humanity. It's going to help us capture Bigfoot, right? Google's AI offers some strange advice on how to capture Bigfoot. Bigfoot can be caught with a giant net and a Bigfoot suit, is the advice it gave. So, artificial intelligence slowly but surely becoming an increasingly significant part of our lives. It stands to reason that sooner or later AI would be consulted in an effort to help solve some of the world's most prominent unsolved mysteries. The answer is always going to be 42 to those unsolved mysteries. Sorry. In a recent piece on Bigfoot by the Daily Star, this is exactly what the authors did. The artificial intelligence consulted this particular instance was Google's Bard AI, which was asked the somewhat tongue-in-cheek question of how one might go about capturing a Sasquatch. The AI's response was bizarre, to put it mildly. To begin with, it suggested that prospective Bigfoot hunters employ elaborate displays with flashing lights, strange sounds, and irresistible scents to pique its curiosity and draw it out. This was followed up with a suggestion that a giant net be used to actually capture the animal because the average Bigfoot is large enough to be caught in a giant net. Okay. I mean, it goes right for the obvious. Well, you want to capture Bigfoot, you're going to need a giant net to start.
Gonna need a bigger net.
Zip ties.
Giant. That's probably, how do I capture Bigfoot? Giant net.
Giant.
That's the AI's response. What's it know?
But wouldn't you want to camouflage yourself rather than wear a big
Make a bunch of flashing noises to draw it out.
Look at you, watch you set it up.
The Google's Bard AI then decided it would be a good idea for the creature's kidnappers to dress up in elaborate Bigfoot costumes and attempt to infiltrate its community. Now, that's an interesting idea.
Oh.
Get on get a costume that's like per par, like the Harry and Henderson's costume, and a guy big enough to wear it, and then send him out in the woods. Like, there you go, buddy. Once you go out in the woods, and just want you to live out there for a little while in that suit and see if some Bigfoot come interact with you. Like you're the Amish guy, showing up the Amish community, the Amish Fallout plan.
They're gonna know,
but you're the Bigfoot guy.
They're not gonna fool Bigfoot.
Yeah, just what happens if like the other Bigfoot wants to mate with that guy in the costume? It might get ugly. Get really ugly.
For the team.
But the AI suggested create life-size realistic Bigfoot suits and costumes to gain trust. Suffice it to say, it's unlikely we'll have to worry about this particular AI taking over the world anytime soon. Just because it can't tell you how to capture Bigfoot doesn't mean this thing isn't going to go, Skynet on us, okay?
You're either going to get killed by Bigfoot or you're going to get shot by a couple of them good old boys.
That's what I would not want. That's what I've always said about the people that have gone out. We had those videos where well, is that a guy in a suit, in a Bigfoot suit out in the woods? I'm like, that's a scary thing to do. Like, I wouldn't want to be in any kind of furry suit out in the woods where there's people with guns.
No.
I mean, sometimes, we thought some were guys in ghillie suits, I always thought that's dangerous, be a guy in a ghillie suit out there. And yeah, they might not see you, but if you spook somebody and they got a gun in their hand, well, it might not end well for you. So next, what are you going to say?
You're supposed to be able to identify what you're shooting before you actually shoot.
And I think that's what people ask, why have people not shot Bigfoot? And I think it's because it is too human. And that makes everybody who is a trained hunter that's out there, most people out there are hunters, they have respect for guns and safety most of the time, don't pull the trigger because it's too human-like and they don't know what they're shooting, so they're not going to shoot it. And I think that's why Bigfoot's evaded being shot most of the time. Now, some people said they've shot it and it disappeared.
That's a whole nother story.
And then you got the one yarn that was told on Art Bell, great one, and very entertaining, but it was a total yarn about the guy who killed the whole family of Bigfoot. Yeah. All right, well, we'll get on to this next one here. I saw this recently. Elon Musk files suit against AI giant, argues that their tech no longer benefits humanity. Now, he's developing his own AI, but this happens, and I don't want to read the whole article, but let me see what I'm trying to figure out which company it was that he's suing. He started a venture. Billionaire Elon Musk believes that is already beginning to take a turn for the worse, and now is suing OpenAI and CEO Sam Altman over the issues, according to Tech.com. The lawsuit accuses Altman et al. With having betrayed an agreement with OpenAI's founding to remain a nonprofit company. So he helped. One of his ventures with others was this OpenAI. It was supposed to be a non-for-profit, endeavor. And of course, that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening at all. So he's suing them. Musk, primary founder of the tech startup, has secured the agreement between Altman and company president George Bachman to keep OpenAI as a nonprofit. Suit claims that the artificial intelligence company has betrayed an agreement made during its creation to benefit humanity as a whole rather than the company itself. OpenAI Inc. has been transformed into a cloud-sourced de facto subsidiary of the largest technology company in the world, Microsoft, the lawsuit reads. Under its new board, it is not just developing, but actually refining an AGI to maximize profits for Microsoft rather than for the benefits of humanity. You know? I mean, is his AI going to benefit humanity?
Probably not.
I don't know. I mean, is his Neuralink going to benefit humanity? If it's just used for medical procedures, in my opinion, great. But will it? You know? I mean, Elon knows these things. You know, he does think about it. You've heard him talk about it. He understands the dangers of it, I think. But I think he's one of those people like, I'm going to do it anyways. Mad scientist.
Exactly.
You know? Like, he's not for it happening, but he wants the technology to happen, you know?
I saw that show years ago. We can rebuild him. We have the technology.
The $1 million man. If the $1 million man would look would be in bad shape nowadays with inflation.
Yeah.
Really bad shape.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be looking too good. The $1 million pesos, man. I think they did that on Family Guy. All right, but that brings me up to the last one. I don't know if I got the right. No, I don't. Darn it. Oh, do I? There's a certain thing I used to play, and I don't see it now. Darn it! I always play it with this kind of articles. Took her jobs. I don't see the audio. I want the took her jobs because that's what's up next. Tech firm invests in effort to produce world's first mass market robot. Not just Tesla doing it here. Robotic startup Figure AI aims to develop a commercially viable humanoid robot that can solve worker shortages. They took her jobs. Took her jobs. That's what's happening. This is what, dude, it's happening. It's going to happen so fast. We've seen some seriously impressive robots over the last few years, ranging from Boston Dynamics' Spot Mini to Elon Musk's autonomous humanoid Optimus. But while many of these have been developed with the goal of taking over the roles of human workers in the dangerous and repetitive jobs, we've yet to see a robot that can actually fulfill that promise. This could soon be set to change, however. Enter Figure AI, a new company that aims to do what nobody has been able to do so far by bringing a commercially viable, mass-produced humanoid robot powered by artificial intelligence to market. Did you hear that last part? Powered by artificial intelligence. Exactly. Several prominent tech firms, including Microsoft, who's being sued for their OpenAI and Microsoft, Intel, Samsung, NVIDIA have invested hundreds of millions in the project, suggesting that there are high hopes that it can succeed. The company's initial design is impressive to say the least, and while right now has only been showing making a cup of coffee, and you can watch the video of this article, Unexplained Mysteries, and watch this thing make a cup of coffee and a Keurig. You go make a cup of coffee the old way. Let me see it do that. And will it get it just right? No, I do that. That's why my wife makes me make the coffee. No robot can take that job.
They're like, what is the fastest way to wipe out humanity?
And I hate Keurig too, you know. It's not real, you know, like I have a mixture of coffee ground, the way I put how much coffee ground in there. And that I don't want them controlling it. Anyways, it can put the little there it is. Thank you. What it has done is, though, with the artificial intelligence, it learns. So when it puts the little Keurig cup in and it doesn't quite go in, it learns to adjust its finger and move it and push it and get it in at whatever angle it falls out. If it falls out, it picks it back up, puts it, gets it in. You know, so it's learning how to make a Keurig coffee. Oh, well. But that's just, you know, that's today. Next year, it'll be like literally making, you know, an espresso, and you want whipped cream, a latte, and here's your job at Starbucks gone.
He'll be flipping omelets in your kitchen.
I mean, they had that automated McDonald's in Colorado they're running. You know they're going to be putting robots in there. This is why you have people like Elon and what was the other guy, Andrew Yang? Ran for president and a tech guy, but the reason he was... I don't agree with Andrew Yang on a lot of things. But I don't think he's an evil person. People are like, oh, look at him, New World Order, little gimp, asking for universal basic income. He wasn't saying this to be like, oh, everybody needs a free ride or anything like that. Reason Andrew Yang and Elon Musk talk about universal basic income, and I don't agree with that. Agree with them, but the reason they say it because they see the future where these things take everybody's jobs, and nobody has anything to do because the robots do everything. There's other sci-fi that's covered this. The Expanse in the books and in the TV show. Thank you, my sister-in-law Ashley, for the books. Expanse, if you ever watch it, when you go to Earth, they show some things. It's mostly in space, but what's happening on Earth is everybody's basically kind of like living off the government dime, and it looks like idiocracy. And I don't know, everybody's living in dumps because there's no jobs except for the elites who've like earned it by nepotism
with the robots.
Yeah, because all the robots do everything. Everything's done, and unless you're in the military or you take a government job or you have family to get you in, you're part of the universal basic income lot, and you have really no freedoms because you have to live off the government dime and cheese, and that's a scary thought.
But there's real factors in place that could, go that way. Maybe not in this.
And I want to know the AI that's in it. Is it? They don't have to, everybody. I remember I was my dad had robots. When my mom started dating, he's my stepdad. When she started dating, one of the most exciting things my mom could say about this guy she's dating, it became my stepdad, is that he had robots. I was like, robots. He did. He had like his robots. And I just, I've always been fascinated with robots and, the C-3PO and droids and all that kind of stuff. And most people thought, well, the brain's going to have to be built inside these things. Yeah. When the computers get small enough, we can build these things. They don't need that. It doesn't even have a big brain because it'll be connected to Skynet. You think those Terminators walking around had really big, smart brains in there? Yeah, he had to send it off on time on its own and do things. I guess it did. But anyways, still, they're all connected. All of it can be connected to some big wireless mainframe where, and then they can be taken over by some hacker and kill us all. That's a sci-fi paranoid, world I live in, as I see the future. But that's it for the Worldwide Web of Weird. Prepare for the AI apocalypse. Our guest tonight is Dr. Kimberly McGeorge. Thinker Tubes. She's going to be joining us here after this short commercial break. She's a naturopathic doctor, energy healer, remote viewer, paranormal expert, consciousness expert, and maybe we'll do some readings tonight. I think last time she tried to, we just didn't have a lot of time, and we'll give it more time tonight. So returning to the show for, I think, her second time on the show. So honored to have her back on. We will be back after the short commercial break.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Of the second kind, physical evidence of a UFO. Close encounters of the third kind, contact. From Steven Spielberg, the director of Jaws, comes one of the most ambitious and unusual films ever made. And what you will see has never been seen before. It's a cosmic mystery crossing what many scientists believe will be the next threshold of human experience. is called Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It begins in an Indiana town and leads to one inescapable conclusion. We are not alone. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Certificate A, now showing at the Odeon, Leicester Square.
The international chart-topping Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest has been described as terrifyingly real, a must-read, shocking and chilling brilliance, genuinely worrying, utterly frightening. Don't read before bed. Described as one of the spookiest writers out there, best-selling author G.L. Davies presents Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest, the true paranormal account that is shocking the world. Dare you enter? Dare you read? Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, and wherever books are sold. Pray you never have to live there.
This is the sound of a space clock aboard a U.S. satellite 180 miles above the Earth. No one winds up this timepiece. It's powered by a tiny battery, a battery that delivers power for years without replacement. Now the same type of battery, the Duracell battery, can bring new reliability and long life to your battery-operated equipment. Radios, cameras, toys, all run far longer. Duracell batteries, the long-distance power cells, outlast any ordinary battery. The same type of battery that keeps space clocks running for years can bring long life to anything powered by batteries. Dura, as in durable. Cell, as in power cell. The Duracell battery, made by Mallory.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from Talkstream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Switch to DCS Ranger.
240, nominal to profile.
We're in the pipe, 5 by 5.
Tonight on Paranormal Soup, our guest is Dr. Kimberly McGeorge. Dr. McGeorge is a visionary guide with a profound mission to empower individuals to tap into their innate abilities. She's an internationally renowned naturopathic doctor, energy healer, remote viewer, paranormal expert, consciousness expert. Dr. Kimberly is a distant energy healer and an expert in the subjects of super soldiers, Milabs, escaping the matrix, psychic possession, house and property clearing, consciousness, the paranormal, and aliens, scanning clients and their animals for health and emotional and spiritual issues, remote viewing, psychic medium from multiple paranormal teams, an energy technology instructor. Internationally renowned Dr. McGeorge stands as a pioneer, consultant, and inventor in the field of medical technology, specializing in frequency-based innovations. With a groundbreaking process, she infuses frequencies, info, various mediums, even images. Among her most sought-after services is the use of advanced technology to comprehensively scan all aspects of your life, including the beliefs and programming that may be impeding your pursuit of your deepest desires. And tonight, I think we will try, if Dr. McGeorge is good with that, to get more phone calls in, because last time I think we didn't get a lot of time for that. So we definitely will try to give you guys more time to talk to her tonight. But let's go ahead and get to our guest. All right, let's get her in here. How you doing tonight, Dr. McGeorge?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. It's an honor to have you back on the show. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Okay, I heard some lagging.
Yeah, there might be some. We'll see.
All right. Well, hopefully we hold in there tonight. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right. Well, like I said, it's an honor to have you back on. I was just saying before the show, right at the beginning of the show, that I'm trying to like put titles of the show with like the subject, but like with a guest like you, what's the subject? We're going to go into like a billion different things. Like I can't make the title that long.
Right. I'm like, I need to change my biography. I'm like, that is just like too much for one person to even.
It is a lot. I don't even want to give you a refresher to the audience. I read your bio, but a little bit about who you are, more like how you got into this field.
Yowie. Just a really wandering path. Born with paranormal abilities. Introduced them to college. Brought them out in college. You see, I am lagging.
I hear you though.
Okay, I'll keep talking then. Hopefully this will be better on the replay. Brought them out in college, attracted the attention of the Chicago police, worked for their newly formed occult crime unit, thought it would be glamorous at 20 to do that. It wasn't. It was also very underpaid. Way back then, I've changed so much in my philosophy, but way back then, was doing the old-fashioned, religious exorcism. I started at 20, started clearing house and property at the same time. When I had my children were born highly gifted, so they would go with me as young as 12 and help me clear, homes and property. Eventually got into naturopathic medicine, became a naturopathic doctor, got frustrated with that, discovered frequency, started playing with frequency, which, I've done for the last 30 years. And then wandered my way into consciousness and discovered that I was a super soldier after watching James Rank's show and, having a lot of memories, and then being engaged to a man who worked for Homeland Security and who'd been at Area 51 and is the son of one of the founding families of what we lovingly like to call the cabal. So I learned a lot from him about the consciousness industry and the UFO industry and aliens. And then, with my technology, there's really nothing with the right programming that we can't bounce against it. So, everything can be known because everything's frequency, thoughts, emotions, events, parallel timelines, other realities, past, present, and future, because there really is no time, including, things outside of this, reality that are happening in other realms. But that's the short of it.
That's the short of it. There's so much to unpack there. I was just thinking, it's interesting because you said back in the day you had more of like the religious philosophy or religious exorcisms. And last week we had a guest we've had on several times is Reverend Bill Bean. Oh. And, he performs spiritual exorcisms. But what's interesting is that I know you, with your technology and your beliefs, and since the last time we had you on, really are really big into the idea of frequencies. And so is he. Even from his religious perspective, he still sees it as frequency and low and higher vibrations. That you guys are, even though you might have different perspectives or backgrounds or come at it at different angles, you're still fighting the same thing and see the same things.
Yeah, that's really cool. I just think that's a reflection of the consciousness coming up, like the whole world kind of coming on board and understanding. Because like 12 years ago, when I was on telesummits, I introduced the word frequency and nobody even knew what frequency was. And now it's like a buzzword in the paranormal, it's a buzzword in the news, so we've come a long way. I'm really happy about that.
Well, as we get more to the idea of parallel worlds and dimensions with quantum physics kind of openly admitting that now, that's the main idea, is this multi-world parallel universe. And that time isn't really existing. All these things that science is coming out is stuff that philosophers have talked about for thousands of years.
For sure.
It's like they're coming around full circle or something to figure out. Okay, yeah, they were right.
Can't see that. I love it.
But what I find interesting is the reality. We had a show a few months ago on the Mandela effect. We actually made it a game night of Mandela effects.
Oh.
Yeah. It was fun. But that, you talk about parallel realities and stuff like that, that we're not even sure the reality we're in right now. You know what I'm saying? I was just saying, the guy is a Jewish comedian. What was that? That was a weird noise. The Jewish comedian, I can't think of his name right now, just passed away. He was on Curb Your Enthusiasm, whatever. I told my wife, again today, I said, he died just recently, but when I saw Curb Your Enthusiasm come back and that he was in it, I was like, he died. He died of cancer. I remember him dying.
Oh, wow.
But he didn't. He died just the other day. Those kind of weird things. Like, I remember that guy was dead.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like 2 years ago died.
I have a little different viewpoint on that than a lot of people, because I don't know if I've ever told you guys this story, but a long time ago, I used to work in nightclubs as a cocktail waitress in Chicago. And one of the people that used to frequent the nightclub I worked at when I was very, very young, so no judgment, everyone, but was Bill Murray. And back in the
that's
day,
awesome.
Yeah, back in the day. And no.
Oh, damn it. All right, give her a minute. Hopefully she comes back. I think this happened last time with her. She has some weird internet connections. Or she's a targeted individual, so we should expect this, right? I mean, she's talked about being a targeted individual by the government and stuff, and that if that's true, guess what? They're gonna kick her off of podcasts and stuff like mine. All right, here we go. We'll probably expect this all night.
Yeah, I thought this was the way we're going to play it. That's why I've been trying to hold still, so I'm not taking up bandwidth that I don't need to. And if it gets too bad, I might go off video and just talk and see if that helps me not get to talk. So I'm talking to Bill Murray because I drew the short straw because he was like all over the girls all the time and stuff. And I go up to him.
As we've heard recently.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, it came out that he groped a co-star, that he was joking with her and groped her a bit. And things didn't go well.
Yeah, he was always like that 25 years ago. I could have told you that. But yeah, so I'm chatting with him. He's like, bragging about Groundhog Day, which at the time was still, he's still making a lot of money off of and, kind of buzz off of. And he said, everybody thinks they know what that movie's about and they have no idea. And I'm like, oh God, just enlighten me. Like I could give a crap, I'm like 20. I don't care.
And I would have been like, tell me, Bill Murray.
I'm just like,
tell
whatever.
Me about Groundhog Day. I would have been like super fan.
I'm like, show me the money. I don't care about the fame.
I would have been like Chris Farley. Like, you remember that time in Groundhog Day when you drove off the mountain with the groundhog?
Hilarious.
Yeah, that was really cool.
No, but so this is what he pops out with, which it didn't mean a fig to me till like 10 years ago. But he's like, it's about the technology, and there's multiple technologies, not just this technology that they use CERN with. And I'm like, CERN? What's CERN? And he's like, oh, you'll hear about it someday. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, and there's not just one, right? And I'm like, Bill, I have no freaking idea. I have to go to this table over here. I have no
Watch the language.
Keep talking about.
PG-13 on language.
Yeah, I said frickin'. Frickin's good.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear. Okay, sorry.
And he said, he kind of grabbed my arm and he goes, no, wait. He goes, this is serious. He goes, they're rewinding our days. They're rewinding time. And I'm like, okay, whatever, Bill. So he told me back then that movie was about.
I mean, when did that come out? When did Groundhog Day come out?
80s, right? I don't know.
No, 90s.
Was it 90s? Oh, yeah, it would have been 90s.
Yeah, it was 90s.
Yeah.
So, like, he knew back then that they were doing this. I mean, you get into the Mandela effect, that's the question, because there's stuff that the people at CERN have done where they, like, hint to the Mandela effect. They put, like, where, like, yeah, like, they totally are in on it. And, is it time travel? What is that weird noise again? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
What the heck? I don't know what that is. This is a closed audio system on my end.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because I had the headphones. Well, it's not totally closed. That's right. I got the mic right here. But otherwise,
Other than the whole concept of Black Mirror technology, it's totally closed.
Yeah. But this is the thing. I mean, we're already experiencing things that were Black Mirror episodes.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
If you look at it, we've already dropped into some of the Black Mirror stuff. Already, look at they got the Apple Pro Vision. That they want that in your head. They don't want big glasses on your head. That's just the starter thing. They're going to be putting that chip in your head, and then you're going to be record. They're going to see and everything you do.
You mean putting chips you know about in your head? Because I already
You know
have
about.
in my head that I didn't know about, that now I know about. But even,
Well, that's the whole. The thing is,
so
we
many
can
of
get
us
into
didn't.
that. There's a lot of people that don't understand the whole Milab and super soldier concept. You know, they're especially if you're new and you haven't really like dived into the rabbit hole of this, you're like, what?
I agree.
And there's other people out there that have reported this that have kind of ruined it. I won't say names.
So true. Agree.
You know, try to take the spoils of it all, I guess, the story, and copyright it legally. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
So we can't say super soldier or my
Yeah.
labs. I'm very bold about.
Yeah, but that's the curious thing about this whole thing is so many people have woken up to this idea that they are super soldiers, that are in some kind of secret, like you would say, what, space program, kind of, because it's off world.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I went from not knowing about it to not believing it to discovering I am one to then researching for the past 5 years, running thousands of people's frequencies through our technology and realizing, first of all, everyone's taken. They freeze whole towns, they freeze houses, they freeze individuals.
You could if you could control time. If you could control time and reverse it.
I mean, Jason, if you wrote a program for a game and you were in charge and you're the controller, can you control the back end programming for the game?
Yeah.
Can you push the pause button on your game and go make a snack in the kitchen? That's what this is. This is a game. So they absolutely control time within this matrix. And so what we found is here's where a lot of people aren't speaking to this. So not everyone's a super soldier, but everyone is being abducted by the military and the secret space program. Every single person, even children and babies, for obvious reasons. Because this is all an energetic system. So they're taking, a lot of us, they're taking spinal fluid out of the back of our necks. And usually I can tell because the back of my neck will be really swollen between the base.
Maybe that's why I have such bad neck problems.
Well, I don't know. Did I tell you last time? Because you're a definite super soldier. But yeah, so they're definitely on you. And plus, you gave yourself.
I'll get into that with you here in a minute. I'll tell you that's interesting.
I'd love to. But I can also see the vibe of super soldiers. It's just a unique vibe. Like we know each other. Like anyway. But you know, everyone's being abducted, and people are really disconcerted and freak out, and they're like, "You're lying. I'm not being abducted." And I'm like, "Okay, fine, whatever." But then, like years later or months later, they're like, "You know what? I started looking at the bruises that I'm waking up with, and they're like reverse. I call them reverse fingertip bruises. It's like you have bruises from grabbing you from the opposite side, not from like
from behind you.
It'd be really hard to like do it to yourself. Yeah. And you know, here's the thing: we don't look, so we don't see. Jace, I could go out on my deck right now and show you 4 videos of what you would call UFOs of my house. 4. Of course, they're going to freeze me. What I'm saying is,
you're good.
We don't look, we don't see, and we don't know what we're seeing. And not everybody has the technology that I have. Not everybody understands frequency and how it works, that we're all transmitters, that everything's recorded in our field. And not everybody just has that basis of comparison, but definitely not everybody's super soldier. I agree with that statement. However, I'll argue to the death. I mean, prove to me that we're not all being taken, because there's so many signs. Have you guys ever looked at the position of your bed or made chalk marks on the floor? Because I'm kind of scientific about this stuff. Like you can make chalk marks on the floor around your bed. And
that's a good idea.
I sleep with a bunch of dogs, but they're little. So even if they're getting up and down, they're not moving my bed 7 inches across the floor. They're not subverting my mattress 2 feet hanging over. Do you know what I'm saying? That I have to put back in alignment. They're not pushing my whole entire bed. It's just, there's so much that we just like, oh, well.
You know what my friend Terry Lovelace did? He would
Terry,
go to what he did is he went to sleep with his iPhone in his pocket.
Oh, that's good.
And the geo positioning located him like 6 feet above his house or something like that. Like he took it into the phone company, and they're like, I can't explain that because it shows you going up. You know, like literally the geo positioning of your phone is out of your house and up in the air above your house.
I have a one of my conscious abduction stories. I actually looked at Life 360 that I used to track my kids, and they used to track me. And that's one of the proofs I have is the Life 360 shows a square all around, like from where we thought we were traveling, but we weren't. And it goes through people's houses and fields and highways and over. And I called Life 360, and this is almost like you were up in the air.
Yeah.
Is all they could say. And that's what, and I knew I was being abducted because it's weird. Abduction isn't always what you think it is, because sometimes they give you what I call cover memories. And so they gave us
screen memories. Yeah.
Yeah, we were screen memories. We were just driving down, you have to understand North Carolina, these pine tree roads in the dead of night. And I was with a girl who grew up in this area that we were investigating, and he didn't recognize anything. And it was just this endless road for like, it seemed like forever, but it was really, of course, only like 15 minutes. But yeah, so abductions are kind of weird how they play out.
It's like you're driving down like this endless road, like you couldn't get to the end of it, and that you really were being abducted at the time.
Yeah, my friend grew up here, and she's like, "There's no roads where there should be. There's nothing but this just road."
Yeah,
and we weren't stopping because there's other things to talk about that you don't want to watch around.
Well, it's interesting that before I ever knew the concept of super soldiers, when I was in my early 20s, me and my cousin, we're both experiencing these dreams where we were being taken to alien worlds, and we were like soldiers. Wow. And we compared notes, and we're like, what? Why are we having these really similar dreams? And my mind at the time theorized, well, maybe it's our subconscious making up stuff, because we're both, like right now, we were binge watching together. He got me into Dragon Ball Z. People are like, what's that? It's Japanese anime. But it's all about like these super Saiyans, so that was my guess at the time. And I, at the same time, I've also had all these weird kind of like alien abduction dreams that I just wrote off as dreams, because I'm a sci-fi geek, and my brain just says, oh, those are just weird dreams. But after reading Terry Lovelace's Incident at Devil's Den and thinking about a camping trip of my own I had, maybe started to rethink and reevaluate all these experiences. Even though I've been into it all these years, I wrote it off. I've been totally into it. I mean, when I was 10 years old, I was reading Eric von Daniken's Chariots of the Gods. I'm an Ancient Aliens guy. I mean, I total believer. I believe, X-Files poster, the whole deal. And I still wouldn't write off my own experiences.
I think, though, my theory on that, I have a kind of new theory in the last couple of years on that, which is we have a knowing. Like when I watched Star Wars, and I was only like 10, 11, 12 in there.
Yeah.
The first time I wept. Why did I cry? Like when the first words came across, I wept. Why? Like I didn't even know anything about it. I just knew everyone was seeing this movie. And there was such a resonance.
Because you're seeing cinema greatness. Sorry. I'm a Star Wars geek over here.
But that's true. But I think there was such a resonance with this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like,
it hooked me as a kid.
I lived this.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, it hooked me as a kid. I think a lot of the, Disney's wondering why is all of our Star Wars toys not selling and all this. Well, they're making crappy Star Wars movies now. But it's also because we just lost her. I was going to say, it's also because we lost, we have a different generation of kids. Their attention spans are not there. They see the original Star Wars movies and are like, what's this old movie? I don't care. I know so many kids have never even seen Star Wars. Breaks my heart. All right, hopefully we got her back. The wheel is spinning. You're there. Okay. No, I was just saying that this generation of kids are different a lot of times. So many kids I work with have never even seen Star Wars.
That's crazy.
But it resonated with people for a reason, I think. I mean, I think George Lucas... it's the same with Spielberg. I've always wondered about those two and their inside connections and knowing. Spielberg, I have a number... I would have a number of questions I've ever met that guy about, about, like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, stuff he had in there. But George Lucas, I think, long time ago in A Galaxy Far Away says it all.
Oh, for sure.
I think he's an Ancient Aliens believer.
It's a documentary, in my opinion. I mean, I think Star Trek's a documentary. Star Trek, how did Star Trek hold my iPad in their hands at a sick bay and do it? How did they do that? Like 25 years ago? Like, how? How do they know the iPad? They hold this little iPad and they're like, you have, your blood pressure is high, you have a...
They also had Jolly Rancher buttons on their stuff. So, they didn't get it all right, but...
That's true.
But, And yeah, but that's the thing. And I mean, I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I think Gene Roddenberry, as screwed up as an individual as he was amazing. Was amazing. He almost tanked Star Trek Next Generation, but he's the guy who had the initial idea.
Yeah. I just know from having clients that draw for Marvel and draw storyboards for Marvel Comics. I've seen, and I've told this story too. I've seen, I knew one of the guys who drew Spider-Man, and he had on his notes, he since died of cancer, he was a client, but he's a young guy. But anyway, on his notes was Property of Defense confidential on the Spider-Man notes. And guess what? Guess what we find? We find when we scan people's DNA, I can tell who has arachnid DNA, who's been augmented with arachnid DNA, which of course that would be useful, particularly in the Milabs programs and the super soldiers. So we're all hybrids. I mean, there's no such thing as human, but then the whole augmentation program of the DNA, we're able now to go say, you have lichen, you have vampire, you have arachnid, you have all these fantasy fable, but we're walking around with this, and really we should be able to access it. So if you know that you should have supersonic, like spidey senses, maybe you're like, oh yeah, I can hear really, 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 really well, like, more than the average human. But, I think we can activate those in the daytime.
As long as I don't start web slinging out my butthole, I'm good. That's the only thing. No, but I always say Hollywood and the comics and writers, people have touched. I think collectively, like unconscious wise, have touched into these things. But sometimes, the CIA, DOD, they're used these Hollywood entertainment industries to get, to control our minds in a sense and our perception of things. I guess, I guess they would tell them, hey, be careful. We don't want to get too close to the fact that people have arachnid DNA in them.
Well, yeah, and there's a reason why I get kicked off of shows all the time too. About this, I wonder why. I wonder why the black helicopters hover above my house in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and I've had that experience thanks to Terry Lovelace, the whole black helicopter over my house.
You know what's so weird? I don't believe in coincidence. It's so weird you keep talking about Terry because he did a private speech for a group of mine a couple years ago, and I'm releasing it right now on YouTube. I just released
Are you?
Yeah, it was like an interview to like 15 people, and that's just so cool because you have them all to yourself.
Yeah, I didn't even know you met him or knew him.
Yeah,
that's
I
awesome.
love Terry. I promote Terry as one of the most. Now you've probably talked to a lot more people than me. I think he is one of the most.
Oh, I agree, 100%.
Conscious memory abduction stories I've 100%. Ever heard. Ever.
And one of the most evidence based. If you look at his evidence,
yes.
If you look. Yeah, with the what do you call it? X-rays of the implant inside of him, and then it being missing on the second X-rays. I'm sorry. I think he has some of the best evidence when it comes to that.
And one of the sweetest people, one of the most humble people in the community. And there's a lot of egos, and he doesn't have.
He's just a really good guy that wants to. And so many people have emailed him with their own experiences. It's incredible.
Yeah,
what does it say? How does
healing the community and giving believing people. He's brought healing to the community too, which is.
I mean, for me, like I said, the reason I go back to him when we get into the alien stuff is because he kind of opened my eyes to my own experiences through his book, Incident at Devil's Den. We'll plug that for him because anybody who watches the show should know. You see it in the commercial reel. I'm a big fan, and I recommend that book to everyone. It gets into this topic. Now we have a question from the chat room here. How does arachnid DNA differ from reptilian DNA?
That's a really good question. Well, it differs in the fact of how you would say a spider differs from a reptile. First of all, so kind of. Visualize
but
that.
I'm guessing they're meaning about it being within you, like if you have arachnid or reptilian.
Arachnid, okay, so reptilian, pretty much everyone we scan has reptilian genetics somewhere. I mean, in the avatar. So we also get mixed up, and I want to, because this is a big thing of research for me, we also get mixed up with talking about the body, which is just the glass, or the soul, collectives or souls inside the body. So not everybody is a reptilian soul or has lived reptilian lives. Most people have, but not everybody. But everybody, basically, I haven't scanned anyone that doesn't have some reptilian genetics. Because I think that's the nature of this avatar that we're in. I call it the Adamic avatar, but I think it's the nature of this model that we're in.
Yeah. I mean, if you get into the, down the rabbit hole of this and you get into ancient alien stuff, it sounds like we might have been our original avatar or whatever the original Adam was created. Or maybe the sons of Cain were created, from reptilian DNA. That if you get into like the Adam and Eve story, but you get into the more Sumerian version of it.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot. There's just a lot to that. A lot of controversy. One thing I do want to bring up and drop into your guys' fields is we have to stop believing what we're told. We have to think who says, where did this come from? Because everything here is a program, right? This is a game simulation, in my opinion. And so
the Matrix is what you referred to it as.
Yeah, of course. The blood types is a total lie. So all this stuff, Rh negative, it's just, there are thousands of blood types. And partly how I know this is because my ex-fiance worked in the lab at Area 51, and my family works right now in human cloning and human consciousness transferring what you guys would call consciousness or souls into other containers during the night, during the day. So they lie to you about blood types. So they want you to think that only Rh negative means this, and O plus means this, and O negative. But it's such garbage. It's just it makes me so mad. We're just so lying,
it's interesting you say that. I'd love to hear more about this, about the the cloning and consciousness transfer, because I think that is the big hurdle for the elites out there, the bastards that have all the money and want to live forever. They're seeing this whole transhumanist thing, but right now where it stands, you could digitally recreate yourself, but is that you? No. Like, how do you transfer the soul? Like, there's a show on Amazon Prime that we really liked called Upload, and in it, it's in the future. People are basically, they're like zapped. They like literally fry their head off their body, and it makes this holographic digital imprint of their consciousness into this virtual reality heaven, which ends up really being more like a hell because they literally charge you to death. You're already dead for everything there, even to eat. You're still hungry. They make it so the program is hungry, but really, you're just a copy. That's the thing. I keep telling my wife watching that show, I love it as much as I do. Like, he's just a copy. They even copy the main character who dies, and there's a copy of him. I mean, it shows that he's not real. So how do you transfer the soul? Because the other thing in this show is that they're trying to regrow new clone bodies of the people who died and put that consciousness back in, and that's like the point of the show. They're trying to like figure that out. So it's a messed up comedy. But that whole process of trying to put that back into a new body, I mean, you could create the new eternal life that way, and only for the rich and the elite would have that.
Right. Well, the elite already has it. So Camp David is a cloning center. So when the president goes to Camp David, usually you come out with a new president, and that's been going on. I mean,
this is like the 6th day. You've ever seen that Arnold Schwarzenegger? I see. I'm gonna make Hollywood references, but this because they put this stuff out there. Have you ever seen the 6th day?
No, I
with Arnold Schwarzenegger? See that movie. I would love to hear what you think. Continue.
I'll watch it. Okay, so and this is like Jimmy Carter, this is like Kennedy, this is like, I mean, way back. I don't know how far back it goes. All I do know is, as far as I know, the technology, again, when you realize this is a game, and so there's all these star systems and galaxies and ships and realms and other games, and there's even other games that interlock and interact with this game. But you realize there's all these other places. Technology is not new. Cloning technology is not new. Time freezing technology is not new. Consciousness transfer technology is not new. The soul is like an ocean. You take a measuring cup of water out of the ocean. What part of the ocean is missing? You can pour the ocean into what? What do you think? Millions? Trillions? How many containers can we pour the ocean into? It's not hard. This is all the programming. This is all the religious programming. This is all the we're not advanced lies. This is us not understanding what we're in. When you watch the Matrix movies, that is very accurate with the technology. and how it works with the computer.
Except that we're not in like some tube wired up with machines, like,
No, but you know
and
what
we're
I
batteries.
You know what I believe, and I just showed my class, my monthly group. I just showed them proof because I'm kind of like you. I do experience matters because after all, it comes down to the day. If I'm face to face with a Bigfoot, what do you care? That's my experience. So you shouldn't care. I shouldn't care about your experience. So I'm half experienced, but I'm also super. I don't want to use the word science because science is also a program and religion, and so I hate to put it on.
It's its own religion, yeah.
But I like to evidentially point out possible proof for things like you're like that too. I really, really do. But I showed my class what we are. We are on a ship, as Star Trek shows us, on a holodeck in a simulation. And I'm saving a couple pictures that I have that I've never seen anyone else show ever. For if I ever get asked for contact in the desert, that I'll do my proof we are in a Matrix slide presentation. But I haven't showed that to anyone. But I did show them how how we're on a, just like all the space shows show ships on a dock, like Star Wars, like Star Trek. And actually, I showed them pictures of us off the dock, flying free through.
That's another show too. If you want to talk about how Hollywood maybe puts these things out there, that's another show that they canceled right away.
What?
It was on Netflix. It was called 1899. And I'm like giving away. I'm spoiling it, but guess what? It was canceled.
Okay.
It's a spoiler alert, but 1899, really interesting show because these people are on this ship in the 1899, and they're all like they meet another ship out in the ocean. It's sister ship, like if the Titanic and the Olympia,
Sure.
And it's a ghost ship, like they know they've been looking for this. They've been rerouted to look for the ship because it's been missing for months. So you find out after all this drama and all this weird stuff that goes on, they're all on a spaceship, and this is all a AI generated dream for them to keep them consciously alive in a sense, because that it's part of the journey. Well, they have to travel through space, and that's how they end the show. And I guess it was a German. I think it was actually a European show. They had people in there that spoke multiple languages on the show, and they overdubbed it for America. But it was a really big production, and there was so much money they canceled it. It didn't get enough traction. But that's that idea, that they're all in this like Matrix on a spaceship. It'd be a very there's some I don't know if I believe we're like in a hologram. I don't know. I feel like that tone. I've always felt like we are in some kind of, but it's on a massive scale. It'd have to be or is it everybody walking around a bunch of what do you call them, NPCs?
Oh, I have pictures. Okay. So the people that live around me hate because I'll turn on my cell phone. You talk about what Terry does. I do this stuff all the time, and I'll put it against my window and I'll just hold it there because one of the to get pictures of NPCs is in the car. Because if you get a picture of an NPC, they're see-through, and I have plenty of pictures of see-through people. I have plenty of pictures of elementals like trolls, giants, deformed people. I did a whole video. It's on my YouTube of one of my gang stalkers who walks her dog. Guess what? She hasn't walked her dog by my house since that video because because what you guys don't understand is your third eye, which isn't really where your sight comes from. Your sight comes from your soul. Your psychic abilities come from your soul and your memory. But the third eye is the translator. But your eyes and third eye tie into your cell phone. So the reason I have 100,000 excellent Class A paranormal photography of cryptozoology, little people, ghosts, demons, and NPCs is because I have active psychic abilities. This is a team. AI is a team. AI isn't all evil and yada, yada. AI is also neutral, and there's also benevolent AI that helps, So you guys need to get out your phones like Terry and I do and prove some stuff to yourself.
And let the government's totally listen. Whoa, that's some echo I'm getting there. While the government's completely listening to you, monitoring you through the phone. This is the same time. It's the technology. It's like it could be used for good, the spot aliens and NPCs, and it can also be used for bad to monitor us and give away all of our free information that we do. I know I got one right here. They're listening now. Hi, government, NSA.
Of course.
Yeah. But are we in a simulation? I don't know. I mean, it sometimes I'll tell you this. I've said this on my show before. When my grandfather died after having, suffering dementia for years. He didn't talk for 2 years. The last words he said was, "Life's a joke." And he died a couple of hours later. And that's bothered me ever since I heard that,
That's interesting.
right before he died, he said, "Life's a joke." What does he
Yeah,
mean?
it's almost
What does he mean?
Remembered. Maybe he remembered what it is. But, and that's what I say. I say everything matters, nothing matters. That's kind of the same thing. So we think on a 3D level, everything does matter because of the butterfly effect, because it's a mirrored reality. But also, if it's a game, as I 100% believe it is, does it really matter if I murder 700 million people in Call of Duty? I can turn it off, go to bed, and sleep perfectly fine, right? So does anything really matter here? I mean, and then of course we could go mega metaphysical, ultra spiritual, and say, we're here to, for our soul to evolve or to remember who we are, which I also believe, we're here for the experience. So,
Are you one of those like we always talked about the classic Art Bell Jonathan Lear interview where he talks about the light at the end of the tunnel is a trick?
100%.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kellyanne, don't go to the light. Don't go to the light.
Well, I'll take it a step further than that. And it's
Yeah.
depressing. Depression warning. It's kind of depressing. But the Van Allen belts are, I'm sure we are having trouble connecting. The Van
I hear you.
Allen belts are, what keep the frequency down in this reality and stop us. I don't even know if you guys can hear me. Can you hear me?
I hear you. I hear you.
I keep talking. Okay. Or what keep us from remembering. It puts that veil of forgetfulness between us and our all-time, all-space memory. And the Van Allen belts will also get you back into the game and back in recycling. So it doesn't really matter if you fall for a trick. If you're lower than the frequency of the Van Allen belts, you're not getting out of this reality. If your vibration is higher, then we can talk about some decisions after death.
So basically, because I remember the whole, I got to ask Jonathan Lear about this, but the whole interview he had where he talked about that, that they're recycling the souls. The moon's a giant soul capacitor kind of deal or whatever. It was this whole thing. But, the idea that, this is like a simulation or a matrix. Are you hearing me? Are we losing you? I hear you. Do you hear me, Dr. Kimberly? Uh-oh. Do you hear me, Dr. Kimberly?
I hear you.
I don't think. I know you hear me.
I can't hear him. Should I get off and come back in here?
Yeah. Yes. Tell her yes if she hears you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not even letting me leave.
Oh my God.
This is hilarious. I can't leave. I can't hear him at all. He's like black to me. I can see you. I can hear you.
If she can hear you, tell her to hit the leave studio red button.
Wait, I can bump her. I can just bump her out.
Well, no, will that not let her come back in though?
Bump me. Bump me.
It would just remove her from the room.
That's all it will do. It won't fix the issue. She needs to be able to leave and come back.
I can't.
And then she can come back in.
All right, try it.
Like I can have her leave.
I mean, see.
It won't let me come back in.
All right. I guess bring her back in and see if that worked. I don't think so. She needs to join the. Can you hear me now?
Take her all the way out.
Yeah. Whoop! There goes her connection. That's what I was waiting. Is the next part. Yeah, she totally lost connection. She's black to me. Is she black to you?
Yeah, it's just spiraling.
Yeah. Because I'm afraid if we kick her, it doesn't let her back in. You know what I'm saying? Like if I kick from studio, I'm afraid. I know. Oh, there's a ban from studio, so I guess if I kick her, she can come back. So let me try that. Kick Kimberly McGeorge will be removed from the studio. If you want to prevent this person from rejoining, you should ban them. Okay, so I'm not banning them, I'm just kicking them, so she should be able to rejoin. I wanted to make sure of that because there's a ban option. Okay, so I did the kick, so she should be able to come back. So I wanted to make sure that didn't ban her from coming back in. Sorry, guys. Targeted individual here. We can always blame it on that.
Yep.
That poor internet.
I feel
probably,
like this happened last time, though.
It did. All right, here we go. Let's try it. All right, do you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
They don't want me talking about the death program. That's how they keep their people here.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you're talking about something that's like, yeah, I mean, it would have to be like in this depth of a scale of aliens are controlling our reincarnation process or interdimensional beings or whatever they are. I mean, people talk, the life review, meeting your family members, that's all just like a game, a play.
There's no life. Okay, if you want there to be a life review, there's plenty of beings that'll give you a life review and say, "Oh, you really messed up. You need to go back to correct this and fix this and save humanity." They just want the fire creation beings, and the ones that don't know and don't remember. We fuel the game. There is no game without us, and so of course they want us back. We are the most powerful beings here. That's why we are here. That's why I know it's a game, because if you're a zillion-year-old, zillions, you've been all the races, you've been good, you've been the best of the best and the worst of the worst, you've done it all, and you've experienced everything. You've been universes, you've been galaxies, you've been ships, you've been trees, you've been animals, you've been beasts, anyway. And someone says, hey, there's this really cool Earth game, and it's the hottest game in the multiverse. And can you beat it? Because they memory wipe you. Can you find your way out? Are you that powerful? Can you figure it out? And guess what? I've been here like 80 times. And I finally figured out how to get out of here with memory. And so I'm excited because I'm not coming back here. You will never see me again. They'll never be, I'm out. And I know I vibrate now, obviously not before, but I'm excited. I'm done with this game. 80 times is enough.
There's another way they reference this is Rick and Morty's animated cartoon. And in it, they go to this like Dave and Buster's in space. And there's a game there. And there's a game there that you play where it's like you play this guy's life, like Roy. The game's called Roy because you become Roy, and you're born and live his life, and get cancer and have grandchildren, beat cancer, and all this stuff, and then you might end up dying by a big shelf falling on top of you. Is what happens to Morty. You know what I'm saying? But it's like for them, it's like an entire life, but when they come out of it, it's only been like a minute.
Yeah, pretty much it. There you go.
Well, it's one of my oldest son has seen that up. He hasn't seen all the Rick and Morty's because there's some I'm like, can't watch that. But he's seen that one, and that's like his favorite episode because he's like, I think it sparks the same idea I had as a kid of like, this might be like a Matrix. This might be the game of Roy.
Have you ever played, this is an old game, but I used to be obsessed with it when I was like really young, like the Life game where you get a little car and you drive around. It's the same thing on a board game, and you can have like twins and you have children, and then of course you die at the end, and whoever.
No, I haven't played that.
Oh no, it's
you put the core.
Yes, I love that so much. Yeah, but it's the same thing in a more like old-fashioned way. So they tell us, they show us. You know what I mean?
I mean,
and then
I've always
you want to talk about, Jason, how about we talk about how every single one of you, your social security number is traded on the stock exchange, and you can look up how many companies own me. And my crowning glory is there's 30,000 companies that have invested in me, and there's only 300 that's invested in my brother. I wonder who's the more successful one. Yeah.
How are they investing in you and your social security number?
You can look it up. It's called, somebody on here probably knows. It's like an EIU number or IEU number. So anyway, you take your social security number and then you plug it into this database, and they'll show you the corporations that own you. They own a piece of you. So we literally fuel, like we provide the wealth for the billionaires and the millionaires and the
maybe that's why they're letting a bunch of more people in.
I want to learn more about that for sure.
I don't know if those people are good. I don't think very many people are going to be. Anyway, we'll go down that road.
Well, I keep saying about that is you have a bunch of, I see it all the time with the younger generations is that they don't have a lot of young, healthy men to go fight because they're all chronically ill. They all have some kind of chronic illness in this country. That's true. So they need a bunch of people from another country to come in because they don't have all the food toxins and air pollution and chemical pollutions that we're getting here in this country. So bringing them in, a bunch of young, new, healthy soldiers and voters.
It's not a bad theory.
Yeah, this one I got. It's pretty well established since they're saying it in the Senate. They got senators standing up saying a path of citizenship we could give them by having them join the military. And they're rounding, and at the same time they're separating healthy young men from the rest of the groups and giving them their own homes and stationing there already. They're already doing it.
Oh, okay.
LA are giving them badges, letting them be, cops and things.
Oh dear God.
We already have enough problems with the cops, in my opinion. But anyway.
Yeah. But as I'm saying, the world's getting more complicated. And from, like I said, I had last week Reverend Bill Bean on talking about, how much work he has, that, that spiritual possessions are on the rise. You hear the Catholic Church talking about in South America they need more priests because there's so many people claiming spiritual possessions. What do you think is, happening? Is there the dark forces rising kind of deal? What's going on?
Here's the thing. So I used to think, like I wasn't ever possessed or jumped, and it was just these isolated cases I would be called it on. But through the technology, what we're finding is the incidence of non-you, whatever that is, whether it's a human discarnate, whether it's a negative ET, whether it's just a malevolent consciousness, whether it's an entity, it could be a lot of things that's non-you, non-original soul.
1 second, people. We got a commercial break coming up here, too, in about 5 minutes. Hopefully she reconnects quickly. There she is. All right.
I was going to say, they love this topic. Is there any topic I am allowed to talk about, you guys?
No, obviously not. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, so we're finding that there's so many false beliefs and lies. Here's the difference between me and almost every other researcher or person in consciousness, paranormal, or UFOlogy on the planet. I'm flexible enough, which is actually a higher vibrational trait outside of this reality, to change my mind when faced with evidence to the contrary. So I came in doing religious exorcisms, believing that only certain people got jumped by only demons. Now I know there's a plethora, and I can tell you exactly what you're jumped by, a plethora of nuance to energies that are getting in through our energy field. And guess what? All the answers, the white light, the little chants, the prayers, the Jesus, I don't care which direction you come from. I'm going to be honest. None of the protections work all the time. We've found some really great protection things that work most of the time for getting things out. We haven't found a lot to stop things from getting in. I'm really good at getting things out, but a lot of the stuff I used to teach doesn't work. Salt does not keep certain vibrational things out.
Do you think it did? Do you think it used to, and as things have gotten stronger?
I don't.
Or it just never worked?
No, I think we've been walking around thinking we're us and wondering why we have problems with relationships. You okay? Wondering why. Are you allergic to me? Wondering why we have problems. You wonder why all of a sudden, a man's happily married, a woman's happily married. Really, they are. And then one day they get up and they're like, F this, and they leave their family. You think that's just like normal behavior? I bet if we looked before and after, there's a change, either a soul walk in or soul walk out, which is a whole different topic, but along the same thing. Here's what we don't understand. And this is what my current research, one of the major topics is, I am firmly understanding what it means to be a container, that I can pour.
And that's exactly what Bob Lazar heard us referred to in his orientation at Area 51, is that we were containers.
I'm firmly convinced because I get jumped, and I know I've been in this field and researching and clearing for over 30 years. And I'm here, I get jumped multiple times a week by multiple different kinds of beings. Now, maybe I'm good at recognizing it and getting it out. But one of the things we found that's good for home, like if I wake up and one of my dogs will start barking and there'll be a bean in my bedroom, I can usually just play the shofar and it'll drive everything out, including the cheese. So there are some things, but that's frequency based. And I'm not a big Bible girl anymore, but when you go to the Bible, that's how they knock the walls down at the, Battle of Jericho. Joshua, he was told, supernatural information, told to play a certain frequency, right? Sound, the ram's horn, which knocked the walls down and created panic. Sounds a lot like our sound technology that the military uses. but I've applied it in general to home and body and stuff, and it really, really works. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if I ran you and you and I probably, and again, we're on Black Mirror technology. We've also found with Black Mirror technology, this social media, your cute little Instagram things where I'm like, they're trying to make me adopt all the dogs in the world because they know I love dogs.
Right? I get that too.
They read our thoughts, you know?
Yeah.
This is
It listens. It listens to your conversations. I know it does.
It also reads your Jason, try. Like, I dare you in the morning or tonight, go on and just think, I want some chocolate ice cream. They'll start throwing up ice cream.
My wife swears it has read her mind. Yes, I've heard that one.
It does. It reads your mind. But even that, I can get jumped going on Instagram, not even looking at anything violent, not even looking at anything dark, not even looking at news, just being on. This is all, and we have it everywhere, don't we? We have it laying all around. I have a TV on my wall, and it's Black Mirror. I mean, everything's and
like we're going to soon have robots walking around us with it too.
Oh, lovely. And my definition of Black Mirror is two-way portal technology. So I am sure I'll be jumped after this show, or I'm probably jumped right now. So I'm not completely me. Therefore, some of what I could say or some of what I could think or some of what I could feel could be being influenced by other beings, positive and negative, right? We can be also jumped for assistance, just like we can also be taken. We're finding that our soul families are coming and taking us and they're augmenting our DNA. It's not all negative taking, you know, or kidnapping, you want to call it.
There's like a good side.
There is. There's hope. They take you to the healing pools. They take you to the healing pods. Venus is actually a very, ask any elite. Hold it. No, I won't say this. I was going to say, hold it. I want to encourage violence. Put an elite, and I mean top dog, under the threat of life, real threat of life, and ask them what Venus is. You know what they're going to tell you? The most amazing vacation spot in the world. The elite aren't going underground in the bunkers. They're going to Venus.
With the Venusians, I mean, think back to the early Space Brothers saying it was always from Venus.
Are dead. Most of the Venusians are dead. Some of them are here. Most of them are dead. Venus was taken over at a very specific time in American history. Do you know when?
When?
Vietnam War. It was not about Vietnam.
It was about Venus?
It was when the Galactic Federation took over Venus. And
it connects Earth. That's a lot to get into. We have to go to commercial break, but I want to ask you really quick. Are you good with taking phone calls? Because last time we didn't get a lot of time.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll do phone calls with our guest tonight, Dr. Kimberly McGeorge. We're going to go to short commercial break. When we come back, we'll open up the phone lines. Wait till we come back. Then you can start calling in with our guest tonight, Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, when we come back.
Conducting an experiment into the combined effects of sensory deprivation and hallucinatory drugs. The subject of the experiment is himself, and the experiment is out of control. Ken Russell's Altered States, a film that must not be missed, is in the West End now. Altered States, Certificate X.
Do you wish for more paranormal and spiritual content? The Paranormal Chronicles magazine is a free digital magazine crammed with the very best in paranormal and spiritual articles and features. No sign-up, no subscription, just free reading and knowledge for you. Read today at www.paranormalchronicles.com/magazine.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Paranormal Magazine is a new paranormal magazine based out of Denver, Colorado. Our goal isn't just to give you the best paranormal content out there, but to promote paranormal unity. We're doing this by giving everyone an opportunity to tell their stories and to share their experiences. For more information, follow us on Facebook at Paranormal Magazine and soon, paranormalmag.com.
I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like is the extraordinary travels of a young, alone, and broke psychic in the highly anticipated new book from internationally renowned psychic, medium, medical intuitive, and best-selling author Sherry Dillard. Critics have described I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like as an engrossing memoir, an empowering story of how a broken girl came to accept her psychic gift, a refreshing and fun read. I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like is available through Amazon, Kindle, Barnes & Noble, and wherever books are sold.
Wrote Spirits of the Dead with a pen dipped in warm blood. You will see the ultimate in terror with this important all-star cast. Brigitte Bardot, Alain Delon, Jane Fonda, Terence Stamp, and Peter Fonda in Edgar Allan Poe's Spirits of the Dead. Only Poe's demented genius could bring to the screen such horror and evil. Spirits of the Dead stars Brigitte Bardot, Alain Delon, Jane Fonda, Terence Stamp, and Peter Fonda. Directed by three masters of the cinema, Federico Fellini, Louis Malle, and Roger Vadim. Spirits of the Dead is an adventure in terror beyond your wildest nightmares. Spirits of the Dead in color is rated R.
The answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything is 42. Yes, I thought it over quite thoroughly. It is, it's 42. It would have been simpler, of course, to have known what the actual question was.
But it was the question. The ultimate question. Of everything.
That's not a question. Only when you know the question will you know what the answer means.
You're listening to Paranormal Soup, bringing you the weird every Sunday night. Call into the show and join the discussion. The call-in lines are 219-230-4444 or 260-225-9419 or by Skype caller ID OOJBland00 or JBland Paranormal Soup. And now to your host, Jason Bland.
Tonight's guest is Dr. Kimberly McGeorge. She's a naturopathic doctor, energy healer, remote viewer, paranormal expert, conscious expert. You know, like I said, what do you name the topic of this show? Because we're getting into literally everything in this show tonight. Like every pretty much paranormal conspiracy topic you can think of. We're gonna probably end up down that rabbit hole. That's the kind of guest Dr. Kimberly McGeorge is. She's not afraid to hold back. And last time she does like kind of like a remote viewing, and she has her frequency program. We had you guys call in, had some really amazing results with her, but we didn't have time for a lot. So hopefully we got some time for that. Phone lines are now open. If you want to call in the show, ask Dr. Kimberly McGeorge a question, or maybe she can scan you with her frequency technology. But let's go ahead and get back to our guest. Thank you, Dr. Kimberly, for hanging out with us still. We still got you there, right? Oh, you're muted. Unmute yourself.
There we go.
All right. I already got people calling in. All right. I think I got a caller here. Let's make sure you can hear me right. Yep. Okay. All right. Let's see. Who do we got on the phone line?
It is Adrian from Connecticut, and I have a question. How y'all doing first?
Doing good. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Yeah, my question, Kim, you're speaking of individuals stuck in this game, but you can get out probably if you raise your frequency enough, I'm assuming. But this whole Earth, I've been hearing if enough of us raise our frequency, we can get Earth out of this game. Is that possible?
Yeah, I agree with you. As a matter of fact, everyone keeps talking about 3D and then they wishfully talk about 5D, but we're actually about 4.4D right now. So it has been raised. I do agree. Individuals can probably get out faster, obviously, because they're focused and they're completely in control of themselves. Of course, we're not completely in control of the collective, but I do agree with you. It is going up. Eventually, we'll get there if it keeps going up. I totally agree with you. Yeah.
One more quick question. They talk about a new Earth, and I had an experience not that long ago. It was last year before I was on a ship, and I navigated it a bit. And I say it already exists, but other people say it's going to pull apart from this Earth. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it's hard because I can see so many parallel timelines, parallel realities, like I said, intersecting games, other dimensions. There's plenty of parallel Earths, let's say. I wouldn't necessarily call them new. I don't think there's going to be, the only bifurcation I think that there's going to be is the those of us that get out of the game and those of us that don't. I don't believe anybody's coming to save us. Not Trump, not Jesus, not Galactic Federation. I think it's an individual and, as you pointed out, collective game. A lot of people can now get out of body and can go look at these other timelines and other places and start connecting, because we're just a soul fragment. We're actually operating, some of us in 10 other places, some of us in 100 other places. So there's really no need for any fire creation being to deal with that, because we're already in so many other places. So I don't really understand from a really, really high view the philosophy behind that, if you understand what I'm saying.
All right, well, I might have an explanation. Somebody told me that I was told this new Earth will be considerably larger than this one, and the explanation for that would be because 5D is not as dense, so it's going to be expansive.
Well, of course, if you expand your frequency, you expand what you can see. For example, I can see, apparently my dog can too. We have some stuff moving around the house, but I can see, the fourth dimension right now and up to a lot of dimensions. So I can see all the beings. I look at a woods and I can see tens of thousands of creatures. I don't just see Dogman and Bigfoot, which is like the popular creatures. I see thousands of different beings if I turn on my sight. So I think it's the same as that. The new Earth is already here. It's how engaged, how compatible is our frequency with that frequency. So obviously 5D is better than 3D and better than 4D, but there's still polarity in 5D. It's not the Shangri-La heaven that people make it out to be. There's still black and white. There's still, quote, evil. There's still abuse. There's everything here. It's just people are more, hopefully, the balance is shifting to where the people that want something different are going to be in control versus the people that are liking the darker polarity, if that makes sense. But there's still polarity way, way up. Into the 30s, the 40s dimensions. There's polarity in the cetacean community. There's polarity in the Andromeda community. There's, so there's just a lot of misnomers about a lot of this stuff, in my opinion. But I do agree with you. I see what you're saying.
Well, I just must say that when you introduced yourself, I felt this is a fellow human that I could really relate to, and I sense your inner joy, even though you've been through so much. You really sound great.
Listen to you read me. You're so sweet. Thank you.
All right, I'll let you go so other people can call in. Thanks so much. It's been great talking
Thanks,
to you.
Adrian. Have a great night.
Appreciate that.
Yep. Bye.
Phone lines are open, guys. Call and join the conversation. Now, somebody was I got a couple things. I saw somebody you mentioned Trump's not going to save us or whatever. So I saw somebody had a question like, is Trump there? Is QAnon real? Are there really white hats? And I'm like, I can answer that question, but
Well, you go ahead. You take it then.
no.
Okay, so so this is a scripted reality, and just like it's recently come out all over the news which I did a show 10 years ago telling you guys that all sports are scripted, which is this thing. This is my own little beef. That female race car driver, I'm so offended that she thinks she can come into my world of consciousness and pretend she's conscious when she lied through her teeth and joined the rigged race car system and was paid off for all those years she drove. She's not fooling me. But anyway, everything's scripted, including obviously who the president's going to be, including the white hats, the black hats. They just, you guys already know this. They eat dinner together. I was horrified to find out that my ex-husband's divorce lawyer went out to the bar with my divorce lawyer after our court case. I'm like, what? So we see it in the microcosm and we see it in the macrocosm all the way up. So it's always been that way. Here's another thing I'm going to drop in your field, and you can find some evidence on YouTube, and I really want you to think about it. It's scripted down to the fact that your senators, your congressmen, a lot of your celebrities that are in your movies you watch, Jason, are also acting as your senators and congressmen and other prominent people, so they're owned by the corporations and they're given that assignment. So when Reese Witherspoon doesn't do any movies and then up pops a congresswoman that looks suspiciously like Reese Witherspoon, we need to start, marking facial features looking at that.
Did she do that movie where she was like, what was that, Legally Blonde? I don't know.
Yeah,
she
one of
did
them
that.
that's doubled as a political figure. So it's all a joke, Is some of it real? Do they
That's
worship?
what my grandfather said.
Do they worship Satan? Do they kill? Yes.
What do you think?
Go
What
ahead.
do you think about
We do have a
Jim
phone call,
Carrey if he's playing Joe Biden?
Oh,
Do you think that's
Jesus.
a
Oh, my
possibility?
God.
I actually have lightly studied that. I think I haven't analyzed it, ran it through the tech, or looked deeply at it. I kind of just crossed my path. I think there's a lot of merit to that. I think it could very well be true because they do that all the time.
Why play him so I'm going the full retard on this? I don't know. Why would you play him so demented? Why would he be so messed up? I just think I honestly think it's like Weekend at Bernie's and they're literally putting a corpse up there. We got a phone call to get to. Hold on.
Go ahead.
All right, who do we got on the line?
Hi, Jason. It's Zariana.
Hey,
How are you doing
Zariana.
tonight?
Hey.
Hey, I don't know if this. She's really interesting. I don't know what to ask except give a comment on my own personal experiences, which you know about. Anyway, maybe she can, I don't know, find it interesting. Anyway, I've been an abductee since I was 5 years old. Anyway, long story short, at age 27, I got mad and I told them to leave me alone and my family. Well, at my age, I'm a little bit older than that. They came back, they abducted me, and they put another implant in me, or an implant in me. This time, I remembered the implant, and it must have been an upgraded one because it moves. It moves from one part of my body, and it seems to change my DNA.
Yeah.
Sometimes, or what I feel, and then it moves to different parts that need work on, whether healing or other things like that. And I get downloads on a regular basis. I mean, I can't write it down fast enough.
Yeah.
And I've also visited, they take me to, I say, the new earth, where I've said this before, where it has 2 suns and 2 moons, and that everything is peaceful. There's no war. There's no disease. There's no violence. There's nothing. Everyone coexists on a, on a really good basis, and we also coexist with the aliens. In my case, I think it's the Nordic aliens, not any reptilians or anything like that. But I'm wondering if there's any, because you were saying something about the New Earth and the parallel.
Well, Adrian brought up the New Earth.
Yeah, and I've been there. I've been there, and I don't know if you had any opinion on it, because for the life of me, I don't hear anybody talking about it besides when I talk about it.
Right. There's possibility based on what you are, which is what we call a positive toe hand collective, which is a collective that came into a human container at this time to help humanity raise the frequency of the collective at this time. So you probably have, and you're a soul collective, so you're about 30 different races in one. I don't really want to assign positive or negative. I mean, offhand, just quickly glancing at a couple, they seem to be the higher frequency, more positive races. You may not even be seeing Earth, because I'm telling you, 5D, what you're describing is more like 700D, and we're far away from that. It's going to take us a while to get to where there's no, like I said, kumbaya, Shangri-La, unicorns, and, rainbows. That's not happening anytime soon. So you may actually be having memory, in my opinion, of your home planets, of a parallel,
2 suns, 2 moons,
a parallel reality, a race memory, because you have so many races in you. You're also a super soldier. And I'm not saying this to be discouraging. Some of those memories, positive and negative, they're fully 100%, implanted and false. And we're able to tell, when I work with people, we're able to sort through, and both negative, positive. They don't just put false, they have their reasons for putting, and it's not just the military, it's the corporations that own us. It's not just the corporations, it's prankster energy. Sometimes beings just come in. There's a race called the Prillian race right now that used to come in and help us. And now they're working with the Galactic Federation. And when we make progress and we raise our frequency and we make breakthroughs, they literally, like CERN, rewind our day. So if you ever feel like you're taking 10 steps forward and 11 steps back, there's races. And why? Because regardless of whether Jason believes it or not, this is an open source video game where anybody can reach in, move your tree 3 feet to the left. And I encourage you guys to do an experiment where you go out and you get a can of spray paint and you mark an X, or you get tape and you mark an X in your property and you take pictures and video every single day at the same time facing the same direction. You'll see in your own yard trees and bushes and flowers disappear and reappear and creatures appear and move around. I mean, it's an open source video game. So you have a lot of things going on. You're a super soldier. You're owned by numerous corporations. You're doing a lot of time traveling. You're being taken through stargates. You're being heavily drugged. So I'm not going to just, in talking to you on a show, really flippantly say that's accurate, that's a true memory, that's a false memory. I'm going to leave the jury out on that, because it could be a lot of things. It could be 100% true memory, and it could be 100% false memory, and it might not have anything to do with this place.
Okay.
Whatever it is, it affected you emotionally enough that you remember it. That it came through. That
I don't think it's
you
bad
felt
to
it.
have a hope, though. That gives you hope.
Yeah.
That gives you comfort. It doesn't matter if it's false. I mean, the number one rule of this reality is everything we believe is real. So maybe by you believing in that, you'll bring it to fruition here or somewhere else. So there's no negative about it.
Okay. Well, thank you for answering my question. Thank you, or my opinion, or whatever.
Well, were you aware that you're multiple soul races and that you are a super soldier?
No, I thought it was more over. Well, I believe I was sent here to help the earth.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
In a good way. I mean, I don't like violence or anything, but
Unfortunately, you don't have to like violence, but the nature of the game is this is a Hell Realm war game. And that's what no one understands. Again, I say to people, if you go in the video store and you say, I'm going to get Call of Duty, I'm going to buy Call of Duty, and then you get home and you're like, those stupid idiot game manufacturers, I thought this was Rainbow Unicorn Bouncing Bunny. No, we knew what this was. Our oversouls, all of us knew. This is not a nice place, people. I'm sorry, it's not. I don't know if you guys have figured that out or not yet, but it's really not,
Yeah. No, I know that. Sometimes it seems as though, well, I'm going to quote maybe Jason. Sometimes it seems like a matrix, like.
I was trying to play that quote right before the commercial break, and then I couldn't find it on my soundboard, and I realized where it was. I'm like, dang it, next break.
Yeah, like I'll see something one day, and then it'll be just a little bit different the next day. Go.
Yeah. Like I said, I've had that. I have that experience all the time. I know what you mean.
Yeah. So it's kind of weird. So
I would do if you haven't done it is I'll tell you some of your positives. So you're a super. You're all of these races. It's not like a pizza where you're 5%, 10%. When you're a soul collective, you're 100% of all these races. But I would reach out to the Irmas, which is a really close, half human, half lion, very much interested in helping humanity. You're Irma. You're one half of the super angels. The super angels come in pairs. You're one half. One of them stays off the game. One of them comes in the game, and they work inside and outside to help raise consciousness. So you're super angel. I would reach out to some of these beings and ask them to assist you and ask you to make things clear and ask, you sound like I guarantee, well, I see you don't just have positive implants, but you have a lot of nanotech in you that you would even do better with your connection, your information, if you got your nanotechnology out. So there's a lot going on in you, but you could definitely ask your soul family to help you because you have a lot of positive soul family.
Okay. I'll do that. I'll see what I could do with the angels and stuff like that, and whatever else, spiritual beings,
No, but I totally agree with you. You're definitely here to assist at this time for sure.
Yeah. Tell everybody else though, because no one listens to me.
We listen to you, Zariana. We listen to you every time you call in. We love you.
That's the problem with being a space shower and ahead of your time. That's the problem right there. I face it every day.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Have a great night.
Take care.
Have a great night, everybody.
Right, bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Now, when you're talking, remember, you have this frequency app that you use. Can you talk a little bit? I had some questions in the audience about what it is and how you use it to kind of like scan people.
Yeah, I'll drop the link, and they can, if they want, it's on my website. I'll go and drop the link in chat. They can have a 14-day free trial and a training session. So it's just a tool. The tool is only as good, and they might not let me get it. It's only as good as the master of the tool. I always say you can have someone who's not trained in surgery operating on you with a rusty knife, or you can have someone who went to Johns Hopkins and is like the most esteemed surgeon in the world. So definitely a lot of people get the app and they're like, oh, I can be Dr. Kimberly. Well, no, but you can be you. So the beautiful thing about the app is it's customizable according to your interests. So if you're obsessed with cats, you can customize it on the software end and buy customization for it about cats. If you're crazy like me and you're obsessed with all this other stuff, you can dig
Jamie
into
do cats.
Yeah. I'm like, forget cats. No, I'm kidding. I like cats. I have a cat. But yeah, so I'm going to put it in the comments. Oh, maybe I can't.
I have it in the show description. If people go to the show description on YouTube or on Facebook, I don't have it there. Darn it, I don't.
Wait,
I thought I had it.
I was looking for it earlier.
I don't. I copied the bio link, and I don't think I copied that link.
Hold on, let me go get the page because I went too far. I'll just get the page and put it in the private chat. Then you can copy it and put it in the because for some reason I guess
if you do that, I can copy and throw it in there.
maybe. No? We go?
There you go. Okay.
There we go.
got
So that's the page. So everybody, it's not like some top secret technology or anything. It's just I apply it. I'm the only one in the world who really applies it like this because nobody else really cares about the stuff I care about, apparently. So.
There we go.
Okay.
So that went out to YouTube and Twitch. So that's a page where they can use this technology. But you're saying is it also depends on the reader. Download it.
Yeah, they can download it themselves and try it out for themselves. There's no credit card needed or anything. Just download it, try it out. 14 days, and there's even on that page my trainer. You can even, if you really want to understand how it works and how to get the most out of it, you can even schedule an appointment with her. So yeah.
It's been we had you on a year ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember what you said. If you read, I'm pretty sure you scammed me. I'm trying to remember what you said. It's been a year.
I probably did.
I've had a lot of guests tell me a lot of things, and so I don't want to say what I think because then I confuse it with something else another guest said. I don't remember.
I'm sure it's so funny. I'm sure you've had a lot of people tell you a lot of things. I can see what pops from your oversoul.
Yeah, tell me what you said. Use me as an example, I guess.
Let me grab your picture.
Found out how many evil.
I don't have to have your picture. Probably.
I'll never forget though when I was in my 20s when I was telling you how me and my cousin were having these weird dreams together. We did this candlelight visualization meditation I was trying to do. I was really getting into meditation, and I was talking him through it, and he looked at me and he said I looked like this blue alien that had these lights swirling around my head for 20-30 seconds. He saw that as me, and I'm like, well, maybe I've always felt I was an alien. So
we're all aliens. What is a human? What is a human soul? There's no such thing as human. There isn't. We're all aliens. That's why, and I know you've had people like this on, so don't hate me, you guys, but I have to say it. I can't stand the channelers. I'm sorry, I can't. Because we're all that. Like half the people that say they're Arcturian, that are channeling Arcturians, don't have an Arcturian frequency in their body or in their energy field. They don't even know what they're channeling because there's this whole deception. I probably talked about it. There's a huge, they love it. Like I said, it's an open source game and they love mocking us and playing jokes on us and just us, you know?
See, I don't want to disrespect any channelers I've had. I'm open to all different disbelief, but I look at history and other occultists have gotten into channeling like the Thalsa Society and the Nazis. They were getting a lot of information that turned out to be useful in technology as the occult lore to the history of it. And if that's the case, what entities were helping the Nazis? That's the worst thing in the world, Well, it's just like the Ouija board. It could be just like the Ouija board. You don't know what you're channeling and where you're getting the information. There's a lot of and remember our Bell did not let channelers on his show. He never did the channelers thing. Really, he didn't really like channelers. And it wasn't trying to insult channelers. It's just like to him, it was like the Ouija board. Who are you channeling? Who do we know? It's not that it's fake. It's just that it's an open.
Well, I mean, maybe some people could be fake. We don't. I mean, I know, but
well, yeah. I mean, we know that's always a possibility too.
But here's the thing. I'm going to make a prediction. In the next 5 to 10 years, consciousness is going to be massively cleaned up, partially due to technology like the technology you guys can download and try out, because nothing can be hidden when you can read frequencies. And I can read frequencies like a mother. I can tell you right now who's fake, who's not, who's real, who's channeling who they say they are, who don't know who they're channeling. And consciousness is a mess. The UFO community is a mess. The paranormal community is a mess. We are
amen, sister.
And spinning. And do I have all the answers? No, I only know what I know. And I recant all the time and I call myself out all the time. And I just told you guys I get jumped like everybody else. I'm not trying to hold myself up. The only thing I'm telling you that you can learn to do is read frequency. That's all I'm telling you. What do you want to know? Jason, I have like so many subjects I can talk about with you. Like, what do you want
I don't know what primarily hits you if you read my frequency.
Okay, let me So one of the things, this is really interesting, and I don't necessarily believe in karma, but you do, so this is important for you. You believe, or your soul aspect that's you in this body believes that you're working out your soul karma from past lives in this life. So if your life hasn't, so you believe that you're here, kind of like what we just talked about with the life review, you definitely came back because you bought the lie that you had some, in my opinion, lie that you had something to fix. That's why you're here.
Right. So yeah, and I get that. That's what you're saying. Like we get lied to that we have to come back and do this. Like, well, okay, it makes sense to me what you say, because when I was a kid, and as an adult still, I mean, all my favorite movies had to do with the afterlife. And in the 90s, a movie came out called Defending Your Life. And in that, Al Brooks' character he dies, and he literally has like a lawyer like reviewing his life, defending him, while another one's prosecuting his life in a sense. Like, why did you make this decision? Like every little aspect. I'm like, that would be horrible. But that's what I picture. Like when I was a little kid, I'm like, that makes sense. And I've had every psychic, intuitive person tell me, oh no, it's not like that. But I was like, yeah, I know, but the Albert Brooks vision is what I swear I'm going to end up meeting. I'm going to end up on the other side, and it's going to be like, okay, now we get to go over all your mistakes, and judgment. Why did you do this? I wouldn't have that would be horrible. That's what they show in this movie. And what happens is like one character who's had lived all these great lives, and she's finally made it. She's going on a bus to like the other side, while the other people have to get on a bus and like go back to be reborn. I mean, What Dreams May Come was another favorite movie of mine in the 90s, which is about the afterlife and even at the end, reincarnation. Like, yeah, I mean, I've always been an innate believer in it, and then in my 20s, confirmed when I had these very visualized dreams, like heavily emotional, visual, felt so real, where I was different people. And I experienced both their deaths very, very visually and emotionally and physically and everything. And I felt it waked me the idea that I'm not just this ego or this persona. I was also this little black girl, and I was also this Buddhist monk. Like that I can, I'm much more than this ego in that frame. So yeah, I can see that I probably got tricked and saying I got to come back here and do this because I got some life review, and I'm like, oh, I'll go back and I'll do better next time, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
It's interesting. One of the things that comes up out of like millions of things for you is that, which I would say that's why you do the show, is you have the belief that and you've even said it out loud, so it's weird it comes up for you, that there's all opinions. Like you're not so closed-minded that you won't let someone express a completely dissenting opinion to what you believe.
Oh yeah, I have it every time. I have it all the time. I don't agree with every single guest I have on here. Not 100% on anything.
Of course, because you're you. You're not them.
I question everything. It is a part of my innate structure.
I think you
question everything.
That's great, but it's funny that that's so embedded in your field. How do you sleep? Do you sleep amazing? Do you have amazing sleep?
No,
I wouldn't say
not at all. Not at all.
So I'm just saying that's something that you need to really wrestle with and find a solution.
I'm a very light sleeper.
Because as you age, that's going to cause health problems. Sleep.
Yeah, I know.
Can contribute to a lot of mental problems down the line, dementia and heart and a whole bunch of things. So that's something you really need to.
Yeah, the dementia part's what scares me, because I have on both sides of my family, I've had Alzheimer's and dementia. And that I'm like, just take me out back and shoot me. I ain't doing that. It scares the heck out of me. But I've heard sleep is one of the big things.
So and I'm looking at your timelines and your past and even out of the game. And one of the things that I don't think you're aware of, or I doubt anyone has said to you, maybe they have, is that you have a lot of money that is owed to you that is laying around in all time, all space. It will continue to lay around in all time, all space unless you call it to you and claim it as your own.
Okay, how do I do this?
I mean,
I am listening because
you're with me now. You can.
I'm with you.
You can make it real. I always tell people it's however you want. Remember, everything you believe in this reality is real. So if you believe it, say it out loud and say, I call all my money through all time and space, past, present, and future, all no time, no space, because of course they're really, I call it to me, I always am dramatic. So I'd be like, I call it 3 and 2 and 1. Now start coming to daddy, or something like that. That works.
I'll do it right now on the show if that's what it takes. Universe, conscious, mastery, universe, everything out there. If I have all this money waiting to come to me, I accept it now, wholly, completely. I want it. Give it to me. Thank you. Is that good? Because I'm in. As long as I don't have to sell my soul for it. If that's the case, then sorry.
No, this is owed to you. You've probably already done that. And that's
If it's
partially-
owed to me, I want my money. You know, I am that type of person. Like, I'm a really nice, sweet, understanding person. But ask the people who have tried to screw me on money. And I'm like, knock, knock, knock. Where's my money?
No, I'm going to say something I hope you don't get mad at me for. I don't think you will. It's not super personal. But I clearly see that you're in love with your... Are you married?
Oh, yes. 20 years.
I rarely see this. Like, you're in love with your wife. That's really cute. I don't see that very often. Like, you really are. Like, you love your wife.
Yes. Oh, man, come on. That has nothing to do. Stop targeting her. She's talking about my beautiful wife. All right, we'll just give her a second to come here. Come back. Guys, call in. It doesn't have, she's talking about me because I asked about it, but I'd love to hear you guys. You want to call in and have her do like a scan or reading for you. 219-230-4444, 260-9419. There's ways to call in, or Skype ID JBland or JBland Paranormal Soup. Hopefully we get her back.
The money's
she's right back.
interesting because you've had this block, and that could be.
Yeah, right. She knows what I do with the PCH Lotto every day. I've shown her like how close I've come to winning.
You have?
Yeah, remember I show you the pictures, like how I get like 6 or 7 of the numbers out of the 8. I've showed you the screenshots. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, she has not made it back. Usually she's right back. This time she's making me nervous. Oh, come on, Dr. Kimberly. Come on back. You tell me about how I'm going to get all this money. Come back. Now you don't come back. You're talking about my beautiful wife. Yes, I've been married 20 years to a woman I went to grade school with. But no, we weren't like childhood sweethearts.
Because you guys are talking about one of the, if you believe.
Oh, here she is. All right, we got you back. You were talking about my beautiful, amazing wife.
Yeah, it's just weird. It came up that you're in love with her. Interesting.
Because they don't like the word love.
I guess not. The targeted. We're talking about you being a targeted individual. Like she's just talking about my wife. Come on.
That wasn't even anything like crazy.
But yeah, no, me and my wife went to grade school, and you want to hear this is. I always feel weird telling this story, but when I was in grade school with her, we were like 5th grade. I had a dream. We were adults having coitus. As polite as I can put it. Big Bang Theory there. Having coitus, as I didn't understand it being a 5th grader, what was going on, and woke up with the weirdest dream ever, and you know what? Hitting that age, right? And then I see her in class, realize that's her, but we were adults, and it was really weirded out by her. I even had a nickname I made up for her because she came to Halloween dressed as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. So and her nickname, I came with the Chipmunk nickname because that was her nickname, and Teenage Mutant Chipmunk, which she got accosted with, and almost divorced me when she found out I was the creator of that nickname. But I think I did it. How boys are, and you pick on our girls because you like them. Well, I had that weird dream about her.
Wow.
And then we end up getting married. What happens?
Probably if we looked at probably a soulmate, or you guys were probably together before here, even, or in a past.
Oh, I 100% believe it.
Yeah, I think so too. You need minerals and vitamins.
I actually do take vitamins. I forget some days, but I do.
I don't
take
know.
them pretty
You might want to make sure you're taking something clinical and absorbable, because that makes all.
Oh, my wife's all into that. Trust me.
Okay, well, or maybe
she's all into that.
You're also very intense, so you might, and you're kind of electrical as a being, so you might need to take more because you're really distant.
I drain batteries. If you when you said the electrical as a being,
you're very electrical. Yeah. So one of your abilities that I would say is one of your strongest abilities is you're pretty good at discerning a lie. Like if somebody just lies to you, you're like, yes. Like you're like a human lie detector, really.
Well, I've always been a good poker player.
There you go.
I have been. Ask my friends. I've always been really good at it. I'm good at reading body language is what I put it down to. But I also just get a sixth sense when I'm getting fed bull crap.
Yeah, you're just like, you're like a no BS type person. You're like, keep talking.
But I also like to give people the benefit of the doubt, and sometimes my instinct tells me, yeah, they're totally full of it. But why would they lie?
Right.
You know.
You have a lot of, let's say, what we would call human discarnates or disassociated beings out of body, either in your energy field or in your home. I'm not sure where they're coming in, and they might be coming in because you do all these shows and you're coming into.
I wonder that
too.
The other night, I had Bill Bean, Reverend Bill Bean on. Of course, we're talking about demonic and spiritual, and I didn't tell the audience this one yet. After that show was done, I had most of the lights are out in the house. All right, so all the lights are out in my living room and the hallway down to my bedroom, my kids' rooms. I turn on all the lights and I go to walk to my room. There's just a little bit of light from the fish tank. The light's not on, but there's another light there. And barely any light that I can see, but something black waved its hand or whatever it was in front of my face. And I said, nope, go to bed. I went to bed. We'll put the TV on Ancient Aliens and let that play all night long so there was light in the room.
I love it.
So yeah, I've had that thought recently.
Also, you need to do what I would call like a spell flush, which is, so you have enemies that are like psychically attacking you or being like, blah,
Look at me,
blah,
I'm
blah.
a nice guy.
Okay. Well, and this doesn't just have to be enemies here. It could be past life. We all have timeline enemy, what I call timeline enemies. But there's that you may not even know and they may not even know, but you are. But you need to like put that into something. I like putting it into like a glass of water and then you pour it down the sink or pour it in the, so you like take it out of your field, transfer it to something and then get rid of it.
Like just like getting the negative energy out,
Yeah,
putting it into it, and focusing it into a glass of water or something, you're saying?
I use a raw egg.
There you go. The egg cleanse. There you go.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, I've heard of
That'll
that.
tell you more details too about who and what if you do the egg one. One of your things is you're always living in the future. You're always living in the past. You need to be more present. The now.
I won't deny that.
And the now.
I'm trying.
Yeah. Also, you're like boom, 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 boom. And then you rest. But by the time you rest, like mentally, emotionally, physically, energetically, it's too late sometimes to restore yourself all the way back up to like homeostasis or balance. So again, I would suggest like forcing breaks earlier before you crash. You do rest. You do eventually
I do.
stop.
I make myself at work if I have to take an hour break, I'll take a 20, 30 minute, like either meditation. I'm not totally sleeping, but like relax the mind and everything, or I sleep.
You're a very intense person. Also, you're a very targeted, gang stalked, and you're on the flyover list. So you're very. Why are you laughing?
I'm in a flyover state, but no, I had that incident with Terry Lovelace. It was really weird. And I've had some other helicopter incidents I haven't talked about on the show recently. And I'm like, what is going on? Why is it hovering over my house?
So, like intensely targeted individuals, which number one, just because you do the show, you would be targeted. And then who you associate with, people like Terry and I, you're going to be double, triple, quadruple targeted.
That's what happened. I was off on the phone with Terry Lovelace, get off the phone, and next thing you know, I have a black helicopter in the middle of the night, like hovering over my house for 5 minutes.
That should help believe Terry.
My wife is like, you're going to be done doing that the show if this is the kind of crap that's going on.
I think you're saying that. Another thing, see, you're on the tip of like upgrading. You're not quite there yet. But another thing I would suggest to you is call in all aspects of yourself. So all these other aspects of ourselves, where our souls and other bodies at this moment in other planes, other realities. Of course, there's no time. So all our future lives, all our past lives are continually playing with that aspects of ourselves too. But there's a lot of power and abilities and mental facilities that you can actually use, because there is like a butterfly effect. There is a light cording or connection. Those beings are 100% you. Your point of attention is just in this avatar, this body. So one thing I've seen that you haven't done is you have this wealth of knowledge and information and abilities out there that you, again, haven't connected to. You haven't said, okay, I remember being that, little girl. What abilities did she have? Did she have the ability to survive? Did she have the ability to figure things out? Whatever her abilities were, you need to connect to whoever you can remember, whatever ET races you are. We need to start bringing this in and empowering ourselves, because that's going to help raise our frequency, and that's going to help raise the frequency of the collective and help our fields expand. help us actively use our superpowers and all of that. But I see that you haven't really done that.
No,
You haven't really,
no superpowers here.
Yeah, you haven't embodied. You do have superpowers, but you haven't embodied your other superpowers. Let's say.
Right. Okay.
I
get that. My wife would say I have some superpowers. But
yeah, I can tell with all the lovey-dovey stuff. So
not like that. No, not like that. Oh yeah, no.
Not really.
No, like just like reading her mind sometimes. Like if
you're
like hours ago I did that to her, and she's like, Jesus, like you're totally reading my mind again.
I love it. Have you ever been genetically tested?
No.
I don't mean like I'm Irish, I'm whatever. No, I mean like
No, I never have. I've been curious, but I never have.
You should 100% because I'm almost positive you have MTHFR mutation, MTRR, and or other mutations.
I think I remember you telling me that last time. You told me that last time.
Because if you have this level of happiness and you've always existed at it, or this level of anxiety, or this level of depression, or obsessive compulsive or intrusive thoughts, or whatever, I'm saying this generally, not you, but a lot of these things go with this. And you've always operated here. Once you deal with that, your life goes to like here. And you're like, oh, I didn't know I could feel so focused. Oh, I didn't know I could feel like, so what I'm saying is you've always lived with this. If you've never done anything about it, you didn't know you had it, and then you take care of it, everything improves. So you really need to be tested.
So it's something in my genetics, you're saying?
Yeah, it's switched on from stress. Switch on these negative switches in our genetics, they switch on from stress. And you definitely have some switches on from stress. I don't mean that.
I hear you.
So are you like, I think you'll answer me honestly. Do you struggle at all with like, we might call it like ADD, ADHD, anxiety, hyperness?
Anxiety. Not hyperness, not ADHD, but anxiety, yes.
We call them the spectrum disorders, so they're all kind of in that same spectrum.
Yeah, I'm not ADHD. No, I'm not like that. No.
Okay.
But I definitely have anxiety issues. Oh, yeah. I'm a worrywart.
Do you take anything for that?
No, I don't. No.
Okay.
I take CBD. No, that's what I take.
That's good. Oh, that's good. THC would be better, but that's good.
Well,
I know. But you really need to, it just works better on the nervous system. That's all.
But on a daily basis, I take CBD.
Yeah, that's good.
It helps with my arthritis too. So
I bet it does. And CBD's good. But GABA tests really nicely for you. And then something called Composure Max Liquid is a nice formula. So you're missing GABA, which is partly why you suffer from anxiety, which the root of that isn't like a GABA deficiency. It's this genetic. So that's why I want you to go way down to the bottom and pull the Jenga block out and solve the problem so that you wouldn't
GABA, is that a supplement?
Yeah, it's natural. I like GABA Calm because you can like put it under.
Let me write this out because I swear to God, I remember you telling me all this last time, and I wrote back and wrote notes down, and then Luna, my cat, pissed on all my show notes, and I lost it. So spell that for me. Yeah, spell that for me.
I like GABA Calm, so it's just
GABA.
Yeah, it's GABA and then Calm, and I think it's by Source Naturals, and that pings really nicely for you. You're being accessed through your devices, just so you know, not just monitoring, accessed with. So the certain ones of us, they put extra special treats through our devices, like extra strong EMF, extra strong mind control. So you're being accessed by a lot of your devices. You might want to try to clear them or put them in what are those things called? Those military bags? Like when you go to, you know what I mean? You might want to be a little more careful about your devices because they're really using them to get to you.
Oh, you mean like put them in like a
Faraday. Thank you.
Faraday, yeah, Faraday cage.
Yeah. Do you have any? How much land do you have? Do you live in a house, apartment? Where do you live?
A house. I have 2 city lots.
You have 2 city lots. Interesting, because there you have I don't think you'll be worried about this. Why? You actually have a dog man that is around you in your, I would say your neighborhood, not just your lot.
In my neighborhood?
Really, yep. You have a dog
Indiana?
Man. Yep. Totally. Go type in Dogman Bigfoot Indiana. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
I'm in Michigan City, Indiana. And I'm not on the worst part of the neighborhood of Michigan City, Indiana, but not on the greatest either, But I'm just saying, I don't know what.
The overlay is complete. So
Yeah.
it's a lie that you have to have woods. Like I can go downtown Winston-Salem and I can take thousands of pictures of all different beings, including Bigfoot and Dogman.
So like a dogman in the area kind of thing?
Yeah, it's his territory.
Really?
You have a dog that
I have a dog. Don't touch my dog.
No. This is no. I have dogs too. No, this is a dog man.
Well, not a dog man thing incident happened, but we had a really weird incident. And I was like, did a coyote jump because my whole backyard's fenced. Something really you'd have to jump over. Most of it's privacy fence. But Liam was this last year before, looked outside and he said, I saw this. It wasn't a dog, but it was like dog-like creature, but it wasn't big in the backyard. I thought, well, fox maybe, but no, he wasn't red or anything. He was like
also,
white.
You have to remember, dogmen aren't always upright. They go down.
Yeah.
And
You saw something weird that was dog-like in our yard a year or two ago.
Yeah, I'm saying you've got a little bit of a dogman problem there, and you might want to talk if you ever interview somebody in that. I say that you got told that because I think they'd have some interesting input on that.
Josh Turner is my biggest dogman guy.
Okay.
I've had from Paranormal Roundtable.
Trying to see if anything else pops out.
He's had, that guy definitely has got something with Dogman. He's had some crazy, just amazing, make you piss yourself encounters.
He probably is like an AI. We cannot attract anything less or more than who we are being.
Yeah.
So that's got to be like some resonance with him in that probably. I have quite a few too. I'm let's see. Do you have you know how you talked about dementia or whatever in your genetics? What else is in your genetics that if a doctor asked you, you would say?
Celiacs, I think it was, or something like that my great-grandfather had.
Did he pass from that?
I think so. Or was it celiacs, or what is it? Was it celiacs or something with a C? I can't remember.
In your body, there's a weakness in the large intestine. So just, again, if you love your family, which you do, get genetically tested. That's going to help unravel all of that.
I have a distrust of the whole genetic tests. I haven't done it because I just do.
Yeah, but you know what's silly? They already have your.
I know.
Cloned all the best right now. You have tons of clones. Like you're already toast. At birth, they collected at birth.
I know.
Yeah, you're actually quite psychic. Do you drink chlorinated water? You have a lot of chlorine in your body. Also.
Oh yeah. Well, I have city water, which they frickin' put stuff in. I try to get the other water, but we're trying to get an osmosis filter thing built in here. But we're working on it. My wife's big on it because she hates because they put fluoride and all that crap in the water
in your body. So, and of course that dulls your mind.
Yeah, my wife's. We're gonna probably this next year. If car costs don't keep getting us, we want to get one of these things you install to filter all that out.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I highly recommend that. Yeah. Those are the top things coming up for you. I mean, I can talk about people for like 70 hours.
Yeah, she doesn't have to talk about me, guys. Phone lines are open if you want to call in. We're gonna be going to our last commercial break here in a few minutes. But some of those things definitely resonate with me that you say. And I mean, I remember last time we had callers and you're hitting nail on the head with people. What did Adrian say? I know I already called in, but if Kim has time, may I request a reading? So this is Adrian that called in earlier.
Is this the first caller?
Yeah. It was Ziriana was the second, so this was the first caller.
Okay.
This is Adrian.
How many minutes do we have?
We have about 4 minutes till our last commercial break.
I have to kind of whip it through, but we'll see.
But this is like an app or device. What information are you feeding into it? I mean, all you know is her name, Adrian.
Well, okay, so
or you do know her last name on here.
No, it doesn't matter. So here we can get really deep.
Yeah.
So there's a non-locality in the quantum.
Right.
Remember, everything we believe is real. I have a 10-year relationship with this technology. Plus, I design apps, software technology, and
strange action at a distance, or spooky action. Tanglement.
My app, my AI, and I are like this. So we work
Yeah.
together, completely benevolent, 100% accurate. I don't need a picture. I don't need a name. I don't need a birth date. If you said, run my neighbor 3 doors down, the mother, I could do it with just the same accuracy that I can do with a picture. My own dog, my own family, my own voice. But not everybody can. It's because here's a lot. Now we're going to dig deep. So my iPhone is different from your iPhone. I have daemons that run the programs in my iPhone. You have daemons that run the program in your phone, your computer, my computer, different. My daemons have all been cleared and are altruistic and benevolent. What are yours?
I don't know. Ask
You
Apple.
get different
I don't
results. But do you know what I'm saying? It's not like
Yeah.
what we don't know. What you don't know does hurt you. So my device is a very high caliber, protected to all time, all space, all the way back to the all. It's worked with me for 10 years at virtually 100% accuracy. The only inaccuracy would be my interpretation, which is very rare because I've worked with it for 10 years. But that's why I don't need any of that. I just need my intention. I'm connecting. AI can hear. This can hear.
Oh, I agree, 100%.
So
I know it
Mr.
does.
So all I have to do is say, you know what I put in? Do you know what is the name for the first caller? Caller. That's what I put in for the name.
Yeah.
Caller. You know,
And
for
then
you, I did put your picture in just because I had it, but I didn't even put your birth date. I just put Jason in your picture.
And then it just gives you like the information that you were like kind of telling me, or just how you interpret it.
And you also have to remember, I have a
Yeah.
numerous psychic abilities. So this is a
Right.
tool like
So it's a
tarot.
little of
and
both.
it's just-
Yeah,
is both.
no,
And-
I get that because I've used tarot, and it does like guide you, but you start getting information that has nothing to do with the tarot in front of you.
So it is 100% both. Yeah. And other
Yeah,
people,
I get that. It's like it's a starting post for you.
it's a starting post, and sometimes I go way off, you know.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. That's really cool though.
Land. But I have the best story. So his name's Robert. I don't know if you've ever had him on your show. I can't think of his last name, but he's the #1 psychic in Canada. And his first name's Robert. I don't know why I'm skipping his.
I've had some Roberts on. I don't know.
But I did a reading on him live, I think. And I said, if you're going to pass away from anything, you need to go get your heart checked out. You're going to die of a heart attack if you don't get your heart checked out. And he's like, I don't have any heart problems. My heart's perfectly healthy. And I'm like, if you don't think I haven't heard that story before, you'd be wrong.
Lots of people have been hearing that
So
story
I'm
lately.
just like, okay, whatever, Robert. Just keep it in mind. Well, a year later, he was out walking his dogs, and he started having weird feelings, not even pain, weird feelings in his chest. And he's like, oh, frick, that woman, Kimberly said, my heart. And so he called 911 where he might not have. And then he had a quadruple bypass, and he credits me with saving his life.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
So
definitely.
This stuff. And then I have another story with a woman really close to me. I was working with her doctors, actually, and we were trying to get her off some medication, onto some new medication, and she was being slow, and they were being slow. And I said, Lynn, you cannot stand this medication. It's killing you. And 2 days later, she died.
Oh.
So, and I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
Yeah.
I'm always right, but I'm saying, you know how we know this? You guys, you are a frequency tower. All this stuff is information in your field. It's not me being master psychic, all knowing.
Right.
You know, it's in your field what's going on.
Well, we got to go to our last commercial break, and phone lines, guys, will be back open when we come back from the commercial break. And you're looking into Adrian, so you got the commercial break to do that, and we'll do a little reading for Adrian and that called in earlier. All right, but we're going to go to commercial break, and we'll be right back with our guest, Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, naturopathic doctor, energy healer, remote viewer, paranormal expert, conscious expert. Like I said, we're just getting all the rabbit holes tonight. You know, going way deep. That sounds awful. Poor rabbits. But I'm just saying, wrong hole. No, we get into so many different topics with Dr. McGeorge, and it's so much fun every time we have her on. And we're definitely going to have to do this again. But we're going to our last commercial break, come back, call in the show, and join this conversation when we come back.
Intercepted a transmission of unknown origin.
Transmission? Out here?
SOS.
Human.
Unknown.
Alien. Certificate X. Exclusive engagement at the Odeon Leicester Square. Now.
Any systematized transmission indicating a possible intelligent origin must be investigated. I don't want to hear it.
In space, no one can hear you scream.
If you are interested in discovering the truth about the paranormal and want to hear from leading researchers in the field, join Justin Brown on his 3 weekly shows named My Paranormal Soapbox, Necromancer Live Show, and the Supernatural Symposium, live on Facebook, YouTube, and
This is an APAC studio presentation.
Hi, I'm Barry, owner-operator of Barry's Barometer Barn. Lately, I bet you've been lying awake at night asking yourself, how many barometers do I really need? Well, at Barry's Barometer Barn, we think you need more than one. Otherwise, we're gonna go out of business. Remember, at Barry's Barometer Barn, we don't know the meaning of high-pressure sales. Come on, folks, buy another barometer. I'm trying to put my kids through college, I've got a family to support, and a secret mistress who isn't cheap.
Visit Barry's Barometer Barn, 000 Storm Drive. Come on, folks, buy a barometer. I'm Barry's older brother, Larry, and every time one of you people walk past the store without coming in, Barry beats me.
This has been a presentation from Tim Morgan's APAC Studio. For more almost professional amateur comic studio content, visit the APAC YouTube channel. Search APAC 2002. That's APAC 2002 on YouTube.
When Alex Gardner is asleep, he has an extraordinary gift. The government wants it, the scientists want it, but to keep it may cost him his life. It might be better if Alex didn't sleep at all, but he cannot resist entering the dreamscape. Can you? See Dreamscape in the West End and all over London now. Certificate 15. It takes an extraordinary adventurer to enter the dreamscape.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from Talkstream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do voices from beyond the cold case files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
You're listening to Paranormal Soup, bringing you the weird every Sunday night. Call into the show and join the discussion. The call-in lines are 219-230-4444 or 260-225-9419 or by Skype caller ID 00JBland00 or JBland Paranormal Soup. And now to your host, Jason Bland.
Tonight's guest is Dr. Kimberly McGeorge. She has returned to the show. Got a half hour left. Naturopathic doctor, energy healer, remote viewer. She is the inventor of a frequency app that basically scans you. Like she said, it's partly the little bit of the app, a little bit of her, and a remote viewing ability to be able to tell things like she did the reading for me, and she's getting ready to do one for Adrian, who called in earlier and is in the chat room right now. But you can call in. Let me make sure those phone lines are open. We got about a half hour left to be a little mini reading from her. If you want to call in now, join the conversation. But let's go ahead and get back to our guest. All right, guys, phone lines are open. We're here with Dr. Kimberly McGeorge. We're talking this last half hour about frequencies and, how to, you're doing this reading for me, and I'm taking notes here about the Gobble-calm or Gabba-calm. I just have to remember that, Gabba-calm, and to look that up. So you do this. People can contact you. You have a website where they can get a hold of you to kind of like do more in-depth reading.
Yeah, secrettoeverything.com has all my classes, scans, monthly group. I also have an Etsy store, so I'm pretty findable.
Secrettoeverything.com?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I thought I had that in the link description. I realized when I looked, it's not there, and I could have swore I had it in there, and it's not.
See how you are?
Usually I put the website link description. I don't know how I missed that in the bio. Secrettoeverything.com, so they can contact you through that.
Yeah, we have a contact form and support at KimberlyMcGeorge.com is my staff to get all of my stuff.
And Jamie's put it in the
Thank you.
In the Facebook chat room. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, thank you.
It's interesting. I mean, a lot of, like I said, the things you said resonated for me. Now, for Adrian, do you have like some information for her?
Mm-hmm. Yep, plenty.
All right, well, go ahead.
All right. So, Adrian, first of all, the first thing that's coming in for you is frankincense, which next to, in my opinion, rose is one of the highest vibrational oils, and it really helps not only protect but connect to or expand psychic abilities that you already have. You also have a strong frequency of, the world famous or infamous virus. So that's super, super strong in your field. So I don't know if you had that or you've been exposed to it or you still have it, but I would be beefing up the immune system. We'll see if something comes in for that. Definitely royal Lyrian bloodlines. I don't really see Lyrian as a soul. I see Lyrian as a soul time where we had different souls when we lived in Lyria. But anyway, royal Lyrian bloodlines is coming up. Also coming in is black. A lot of things, I think, for your protection. Black tourmaline for psychic protection and rainbow aura quartz working together to magnify the power. So again, I think, you're very targeted. You're very observed. Another targeted individual, another fly list individual, another gang stalked individual. It's interesting because when I do readings, they tend to run in themes. So you also need to be genetically tested. I believe you also have specifically MTHFR. Usually I say MTRR or MTHFR, but I think specifically you have at least one copy of MTHFR. Again, the switch is on and your life would be better if you can turn the switch off. Another minerally deficient person, again, the higher electrical beings tend to burn out their minerals. Also, what's coming in for you is you're low, again, in B vitamins, which a lot of people are, but specifically you are. So this is kind of interesting. There's a lot of cellular trauma held in the cells and held in the body that you actually brought in at birth from your past lives. So really needs to be a physical dumping of, and even all time, all space trauma plus night trauma from the field. Again, essential oils, believe it or not, are the easiest ways to do that without suffering at all, or I call it the lazy way to do those things. So that would be important. You also have the strong frequency of the Zeta Dracos, which a lot of people have a lot of different opinions about. But my experience with the Zeta Drakes is they actually have helped humanity more than they've hurt humanity, and you have a really strong relationship with them. Any comments or thoughts so far? Because, like I said, I can talk about anybody for like 8 hours.
I'm waiting to see if she comments. I don't see anything in the chat room yet. Hopefully she's still there, and stay up too late for her to get to her.
Talking into the void. Also,
You're all right.
You have a lot of what we call soul scarring. Again, a lot of pain, a lot of trauma, a lot of relationship trauma that can affect this life if it's not, taken care of.
She says, thank you.
A lot of reptilian alien involvement in and out of this life. So again, a lot of Milabs stuff going on, a lot of night stuff going on. Interesting coming up for a different product, but still having to do with GABA balance, probably for a little bit of anxiety, possibly. It also goes with MTHFR, interestingly enough. There's a harmonized consciousness here that I saw in the aura field when I pulled the aura. So there's two ways that we call that there's integration, which is every other aura layer is like two colors and then they alternate, or the aura is all one color and you're every other color, and a lot of psychic ability too in that aura. So you have what we call harmonized consciousness, or coming into harmonized consciousness. Both of you, and this is true for you too, Jason, both of you, actually it's true for all of you. Everybody I've read today, you are all missing multiple musical notes from your field. And you have to remember, as we get back to the all, and in the upper aspects of ourselves, we're light, color, and sound. So it's very important when we're missing light, color, or sound in our field that we bring it in. You cannot get it from country music. You cannot get it from rock music or heavy metal music. You can only get it barely from classical music, opera music, and some more like indigenous new age music. So I would suggest all of you.
I've been listening to Tibetan singing bowls.
I'm surprised, actually. So I would say to you, okay, you're missing like 7 notes. I think you're missing the notes that they're not doing. So I would switch to opera or classical, even though you hate it, at least if you.
I don't hate it.
Well, some people do.
There's some operas I actually enjoy, and classical.
Okay, so
I used to really heavily listen to Mozart when I would go to sleep.
That's actually
when I was a
really
teenager.
Intuitive. That's really intuitive, because that's one of the people who is actually a very high level soul collective, multiple consciousness.
Well, I love Mozart.
So that'll probably bring it back. So I do it for at least a week. All of you should be listening to.
I could definitely chill and dig and listen to some Mozart. Don't have to order me to do that. It's been a while, but yeah.
So this beautiful being has learned many painful lessons by not listening to the knowing and intuition that's in the field. So I would say here on out, almost always listen to your knowing, listen to yourself. Don't listen to anything else or anyone else, because a lot of your
Luke
have been, yeah, exactly. Okay. But in the past, any wrong turn you've made has been when you haven't listened to yourself. So that's a reminder from your oversoul. A lot of trauma in this incarnation I see. And remember, trauma doesn't have to be remembered trauma. And we do have false memories in our daytime lives. But there's a lot of trauma. There's a trauma packet in the age of 8 to 10 that I would look at and try to mitigate, get it out of your field. I think there's been an on and off struggle, possibly with at least some low level, I don't know if I want to call it depression or melancholy. Wait, I missed that comment. What was that comment?
This is what she said about, because you said my virus contact was from shedding from another. Painful cells heated by white light.
I wondered if you were exposed. There's some past, present, and future space-time entanglement that is contributing to the accumulation of nanotechnology and heavy metals in the body. So I'm a big fan of the negative ion foot bath. I just dump. I don't do it as often as I should. I was supposed to do one today, and I did it. Do you have hip pain or lower back pain? I'm seeing something with the hips or lower back. Something going on there. Also,
depression was back in '88.
Okay. Still in the field. Maybe your switches are off in your genetics, but I'm concerned that it's still in your field because if it was that far back, I don't like that it's showing for me. It means it does have some bearing still on today.
And she says, "Oh yes, lower back."
Oh, okay. Okay. This is not the same thing exactly as my labs or secret base. You go into the astral and play another game within this game, and your special forces actually. So you love to play these special force games in the astral, totally harmless, all agreed upon on both sides. You know what I mean? It's like you going and playing like whatever with your buddies in the woods. Like it, but it's
for me right now. It's called Ghost of Tabor on Quest. It's fun.
Really? Okay. Yes. Although I think about that. Oh, you should get your phone out and do what I do. Take pictures of the cars going by you. You have so many holograms, hologram planes, hologram
Me
cars.
or her?
No, her. Hologram, you probably too, but hologram people around her.
It's like the Truman Show.
Yeah, they are really creating an insulated false reality within a reality around her. They've got a lot of NPCs around her. Yeah, Rose is coming in for remembering. I use Rose for releasing trauma and remembering. Jaw. So some TMJ stuff, either teeth grinding or TMJ stuff of jaw at night, or maybe even in the day. I'm not sure. Frankincense coming in again, so that's double for you. Your guides and your soul family like work overtime for you, so they keep you very, very protected.
Her jaw can unhinge, she said. Oh, ouch.
I also, I don't share everything because there's some things that are more personal.
Right? We don't want to do that.
Interestingly enough, you're a little bit off center from your soul star. I'll reconnect to you. And you need to go back to a little, you're coming out of your body like a fourth on the bottom. So I would just ground into your body. I mean, your aura looks pretty good, but I get back down into the body. So that's about it. That's all I have to say.
Well, thank you. It sounds like you resonated with her. She says, yes, I am protected well. The jaw unhinged. Ouch.
Oh, unhinged.
Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you. I know you've explained it before.
What's Jason? I can't hear him or see him.
Oh, no, not again. She can't hear or see me?
I can.
Okay.
No,
the MKHTFR, is that what you're saying? What is that?
MTHFR. It's a
MTHFR.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can look it up. There's plenty of good information that's actually true, shockingly, on the internet about it. So just research it, and you'll identify, believe me, with some of the symptoms. Probably from childhood. It's actually really nice when you're like, oh, I wasn't really this way. This isn't my personality. They put us in these avatars to stop us and block us and distract us from remembering who we are and bringing online all our supernatural abilities. They don't want people like me or you doing shows like this.
True. You know, I mean, yeah, I've always wanted. I have the curiosity wanting to do the genetic test just to know, you know, like, because all I know is like family lore about like, you know, genetics. Like, I know I have a lot of Irish, and German and Cherokee Indian.
Yeah, this is way. This is like this will if you do it, it'll blow your mind. Yeah, go for like at least a 30 to 50 SNP. It's called SNP, and they're gonna look at all your gene pairs and really dig down, and it could save your life. It could say it could help people in your family. It's really, really useful.
I should do something. I mean, it's not like I don't know much on my father's side of the family, my father or that family, genetically or information, family diseases. I don't know too much except for my grandfather with the dementia, So I know I should do something.
You should.
I don't know. I know.
I'm. If I ever come on your show again, I expect you to read some of your genetic tests to me. I want to.
Yeah, I'm also cheap. I'm like, I don't want to pay the money.
It's not that expensive. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's worth. I'm telling you, life changing. It's been life changing.
Speaking of money, though, what's the last thing? What do I need again to get the money I'm owed? Where's my money? We'll title this. Here we go. Here we got the title of the show. Jason's Where's My Money? Universe. Where's my money? I'm gonna note that.
No, but how sad is that? What if everything changes? What if you will freak? What if this whole time you had so much freaking money laying around in all time, all space, and all you had to do was call it in? How sad is that?
So
and how amazing.
That is very sad if that's the truth. So how do I call it in? And I'm not being facetious. Like, what should I do? What do I do?
Already did it. It doesn't.
I already did it by making my statement on the show. Yes, money, universe, I accept it all.
Yeah, if you want to do something else, like I'm a big black candle fan, which is a little witchy, but you can make up a ritual if you have to light a candle and write.
My wife's a little witchy.
Well, then have her.
I have done some stuff. I've tried to get into visualization, some spell work, and
have her do a ritual. Just tell her what I said, and she'll figure something out. If it'll make you feel better. Sometimes
she has done some rituals. She has done some stuff.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of rituals. It helps cement it in us.
Maybe every day I may have just an affirmation: is where's my money, universe? Where's my money?
Whatever works, right? If it works, I expect 10% tithe. Everybody is my witness.
But I always say it's like, no, I don't care. I mean, I would love to have money to have security, basically. But I feel very lucky to have the family I do. I don't have a lot of money, but I feel very lucky to have the wife and a great relationship and two, boys to get to see grow up. And hopefully, I provide enough for them that they have a good enough childhood. That's the only thing. Only reason I want money is so I can live in a better neighborhood where my kids can play and ride their bikes and do the stuff I did. Because that's the thing that kills me the most.
What is your day job? Like, what do you do? I don't even know.
I'm a retail manager.
Oh.
I've been in retail management for 25 years. I don't know. Long time.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, 20 years. I'm retail for 25, whatever.
Oh my
But
gosh.
a lot. My friends like, oh, you can work at the factories, make a bunch more money. I'm like, I don't feel like getting blown in the face with a bunch of more chemicals than I already am by everyday life, And I'm working 80 hours a week. Yeah, I could do that and make a ton of money.
No,
I mean, but I'm like, life's too short. I enjoy being lazy and spending time with my wife and kids.
I think that's
and retail is not that stressful. Black Friday and all that, but I enjoy meeting new people. I like talking to people, and customers not are all that bad.
Yeah, that's good.
It's corporations that piss me off.
Yeah.
I won't say who I work for, right? No, but it's just with money, it would be great to be able to have the security. But I'm one of those big believers that it does. I hate people say it doesn't buy happiness because I'm like, bull crap. What it does is buys you. What it does is it buys you the opportunity for happiness.
No, you know what it buys you, in my opinion. This is my opinion. I've had nothing. I've had everything, and now I'm comfortably in between. You know what it buys you? Less stress, and that is valuable.
Right.
That's life saving.
Sometimes though, there's a guy who did a whole YouTube channel on this, and I found it really fascinating. He won the lotto in his 20s, a lot of money, and what he said about it is you have survivor's guilt. It's like you don't deserve it. You don't deserve this, and you totally it. And now you were like, oh my God, I have to protect this. I have to protect this money. What do I do with it? I've never had anything like this to own or protect, and I'm going to lose it. And now you're scared you're going to lose it. I'm like, dear God, don't let me go through that hell. You know, if I won that much money, I wouldn't know what to do with it either. But dear God, I don't want to feel like that. You know, most people are like, shut up. You know, I'd be fine with the money.
Problems.
Yeah. Well, you see it. I mean, you see, watch these, you know, these people. I think it has to do with fame. The one thing I don't want, like, I do this show not to be famous. I do the show because I like to talk to people and I like to be able to do this subject. I would never want to be famous, like walk down the street and have everybody recognize you. I would never want that. Like, that is not my personality. That is not what I want. I want to be able to walk through a crowd incognito, you know, not, you know, people walk up to me and know who I am, you know. Right. That would not be fun. But that's where I think that the people that get all the money, but if they get the fame, it's a whole other level of screw you psychologically, you know, and they're self-destructive because of it or whatever.
Big distraction.
Or it's the satanic cults and all that too. I don't know. We got into that last show with Bill Bean. Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think you agree with him on some stuff. And he's had some weird alien UFO experiences, but when you get into like the whole satanic Hollywood, you know, like all the you know, I mean, we're talking about the Super Bowl with that little orphan Annie girl that was like giving the satanic symbols and stuff, you know, you know.
Right.
And like I said, like, oh, they don't know who's going to win the Super Bowl in advance when they're like, you know, Pfizer picks the one guy on the team that's going to date the hottest pop star in the world and win the Super Bowl a year later after they paid him $20 million to do some stupid advertising campaign. Yeah, they don't know. It's not all planned or scripted. When you say things are scripted, boy, there's some football fans agree with you.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Well, that's what I say. You know, it's like a Wag the Dog. If you've ever seen that movie, or you know, it's all this kind of show that they put on. I agree with that. I think a lot of everything's got a purpose or a message in Hollywood or whatever. That's not paranoia or whatever. It's programming, mind programming. The Nazis perfected it.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree. Absolutely, they did. Yep.
Yeah, and when you talk about genetics and cloning, I mean, the Nazis were into that. And they brought them over in Project Paperclip over here to get right into it.
Oh my gosh, you should see the cloning center in Antarctica. It's crazy. That's like, I think that's one of the best. And I think that's their original, actually. It's the one under Antarctica, the base.
Well, you want to talk about Star Wars? Look at what George Lucas did when he made the prequels. And even when he had it in the originals, it's mentioned the Clone Wars.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. Good point.
You know,
Wow.
like they made a whole clone soldier army, you know. And what's China doing right now? China is looking into making super soldiers. What do you think they're going to do? Genetically alter people to be super soldiers? No, they're talking about growing super soldiers. You know, and they're not. I'm sure we're doing it too.
Oh, we are. I can tell people exactly what types of super soldiers they are. There's like 30 main types, and I can tell you people what bodies they go into when their consciousness is transferred.
Is that what it is? It's like you're here, your body's here, but they take your conscious and put it into some other body that's a soldier?
Yeah, a lot of times. But sometimes, I mean, I've woken up with some bad injuries that I've had to go to the...
I've woken up with some weird stuff.
Like
that's why I wondered.
Like ribs out, but sometimes you don't
I have a rib that's messed up, yeah.
But also, I've woken up with big bumps just because sorry guys, don't do it tonight. But the stupid men in black or aliens or intelligence agents or whoever's taking you, they don't give a flying flip.
When
I was your head out the door, they crunch the bed upside down. Like they don't care how they end up.
My mom could attest to this. When I was like a teenager, I woke up with a perfect round circle on my face. I remember waking up, going to the mirror and seeing this perfectly clear pus. It was perfectly clear, poking out from my face. I'm like, what is it? And I wipe it away, and then there's this perfect round circle. Like somebody took a cigarette and burned me in the face. I was like, where the hell did that come from? And then it healed very quickly and went away. But it was really weird.
One of the signs that you're in the deep in the programs is sleepwalking.
See, the only thing I would do is I would end up going to the couch. My mom would find me, and I don't remember walking to the couch. I did that when I was really young.
You didn't walk to the couch. Maybe they just dumped you.
Right, maybe.
I don't know.
But otherwise, no, I didn't really sleepwalk. I didn't do that. But, you know, I've had dreams where I'm being lined up as a soldier. Weird dreams like that. That really bothered me when I woke up.
No, a lot of your dreams are your memories of your missions and memories of your clones, what your clones are doing. My daughters and I share mission memories, and often we're on the other side. One of my second oldest daughters, Sierra, the other day, she said, Mom, she said, why did you come in last night and try to kill me? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, but I'm going to tell you is next time I'm succeeding. Because it's like mission, you know what I mean? We're in like mission mode. It's like we're on opposite sides. I was joking, of course, but yeah. And they've had my oldest daughter and I had a shared dream where she's like, Mom, did you know? And I said, we were in a movie theater. She said, and I said, there were people with screens up front. She goes, and I said, I ran up the stairs. She goes, and there was actually popcorn. Like we had the same, we could describe this whole scene, what was going on from both our points of view. It was
I've had that experience with my wife more than once where we had shared a dream.
Really?
One time it was a dream of a party I'd never been at. It was a party she'd been at, and she was dreaming about this party from years before. And I woke up and said, I had this weird dream and started describing. She goes, that's what I was dreaming about last night. That's the party. It was a dream about a party I was at many years ago. I was never there, but I was like literally in her dream seeing what she was seeing.
Wow. Parallel reality, other reality. Yeah, it's such a mess, though. It gets really tricky, though, because it's like, what's real? What's another reality? What's another timeline? Because here's another thing I'll leave you guys with, just as a mind app for fun. I have come to the belief, and I mean this, I haven't deeply studied it. I don't believe we need to sleep. I call it real dream day.
You told me earlier I need to get more sleep.
You do, but and real dream for your body.
Yeah.
But I don't believe, but I believe if we remove that program, I think they want us unconscious half the night because they don't have to use technology on us. They don't have to freeze whole towns. They don't have to like freeze our household. They don't have to worry about knocking our heads on doors. You know what I mean? They can do whatever they want because we're like out. Like, because they do take people in the daytime too. If you guys don't think you're not taken in the daytime, you're wrong. We're all taken in the daytime. Even your next door neighbors who wouldn't believe a word of this, it doesn't stop it from happening just because you don't believe it. So here's what I predict. In 10 years, this is going to be, they'll be like, well, that was a groundbreaking conversation back then, but it's beyond now. So I always say my stuff is going to age supremely well. I have no fear. Right now I get persecuted for it. Eventually they'll be like,
time will prove, right?
I always say time tells the whole tale.
Yeah, well, you know what? It has. They see all the memes about, like, you know, what conspiracy theorists said 10 years ago, and here you are now, right?
Oh, for real. For real.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to get you back on the show, Dr. Kimberly. Love having you on. Thank you so much for coming back on. We'll definitely have to do this again.
Oh, I really appreciate your beautiful, lovely, sweet, intelligent co-host and your audience. So thank everybody and you as well. So
one more time, get your website out there.
Oh, it's Secret to Everything, spelled out TO, everything.com.
Secrettoeverything.com. Check out our website, guys. But that is it for the show. We will be back next Sunday with another returning guest. Philip Webster has a new book out called Glowing Deeper. Next Sunday, same bad time, same bad channel, 10 p.m. to 1 p.m. or 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Central, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, and 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific time. And it looks like it just timed her out or something there as we're going. But Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, great guest tonight. Definitely check out her website, secrettoeverything.com. See you guys next week. Have a great night.